sisters, it's Major Key Monday again. You know what I'm saying? We got a lit panel today. We're not going to be throwing out any kind of links in the channel. Only certain guests get to talk, but everybody's able to throw some comments in the chat and talk to these special guests today. But of course, we want to make sure that everybody gets a question in. But we have to keep this in house today because we got some great people on the panel today, and we have to make sure that we partake in their time with respect that's due. We got certain people. So of course, Marq Nash streaming it from his channel. Everybody salute on Marq Nash's channel. We got my brother Troy Graham in the building. You know what I'm saying? The peacemaker up in the building. And then we have our brother, salute to you, brother Glen Johnson. Wagwan, brethren. Wagwan.
Thanks for having me, man.
No, thank you for showing up, brother.
For sure, for sure.
That's facts, man. So Mr. Ring Magazine, what was that, 2003? Mr. Ring Magazine?
2004.
2004. My apologies, man. Great resume. I'm not even going to start talking about it yet. You know what I mean? Because I want you to get into your stories and all of that. But the first question I want to ask before we start splitting this up in the panel, tell us about what brought Glen Johnson into boxing. How did you start? How did you stay?
Well, I mean, I was 20 years old and becoming a fat boy and wanted to find a gym to work out in and stuff. So I heard rumors that there was some construction that was happening in a building, and I heard rumors that it was going to be a boxing gym. So I walk in there and ask them what's happening here, and they say it's a PAL. They under construction. It's going to be open in about a month. So I say I will be back, and the guy told me that it will be free if you live in the community and you're under a certain age group. And free and the age group works for me. So all of that was in my budget. So a month time when they opened, I was there and signed up and start training. And the trainer told me that he liked what he sees and got me excited, and I sparred for the first time. I thought it was impossible to do. I mean, but as my brain was telling me that this is impossible, there's no way anybody can do this. As I look in the ring, I see other guys doing it. So that made me have to challenge myself to step up and have a different mindset. And
right.
Once that, man, it's been a blessing.
So what is it? Was it that nobody could do it because you had such great power, or was it because you said you were a fat boy with too much bun and cheese? Which one was it?
Well, it was a little bit of both.
That's why I like Glen. That's why I like Glen. He keep it rugged. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
You know what I mean? Obviously, I got married when I was 18 years old, so I was eating the good food and having the good life, a lot of curry, goat and chicken and all kind of stuff. And like you said, bun and cheese and everything that we Jamaican people love to eat. So yeah, after I started getting a little chubby, I didn't like it. So I wanted to make sure that I shake it off. So then I walk in the gym and start training and stuff and end up finding a career.
Respect. Yo, I'm sorry, Troy, go ahead and then Mark after go ahead, man.
Okay. How you doing, Glen? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm hanging in, brother. What's going on with you?
Good. You know what? You had a wonderful career, man. It was some rough times in there. I was going to ask you, how did you keep that positive, strong, character of yours? Because you had some times where, you got robbed in boxing. Like, I think it was was it the Cloud fight? There was the Cloud fight and the Chad Dawson fight, right? Those two fights. You want to speak on that, on how you stayed so positive?
Yeah, those are two of many fights that I got robbed in. The Dawson fight, it's very crushing because I know Dawson was a young, talented guy that was coming up, and I beat him in that first fight, and that was supposed to be a win that ended up on my resume, and it ended up being a loss. So that was unfortunate, but you have to stay strong, because at the end of the day, if you don't stay strong, you're the person who suffer from that, from being weak and fall to the wayside, or not having a career because of your mentality wasn't strong enough to keep pushing. So I had to I wasn't gonna let them decide my career for me, you know what I mean? So I had to keep a strong mentality and focus and go back. And unfortunately, the rematch, he was much smarter in the rematch, and he was able to win that going away with no problem. And then the Tavares Cloud fight, that was a fight that happened here in Florida, and I mean, anybody who saw that fight know that I won the fight. It's just
Stevie Wonder knows you won that fight. That's how clear the fight was.
exactly.
Thanks.
It was an unfortunate situation. So it is what it is, man. I mean, I can't let, because these people are blind, or because they don't want to give me my just due, I'm gonna sit back and go into a depression, or whatever else you wanna call it. I mean, I have felt bad at times. There were many times when I feel like not doing it anymore, but I have to talk to myself in those moments and said, if I don't do it anymore, who am I teaching a lesson? Am I teaching the judges a lesson? Am I teaching boxing a lesson? Or I'm the one who gonna lose out? So I just stick with pushing on with my career.
Right. And then you had the great win that pushed you into the spotlight with Roy Jones. Tell us what that feeling was after you know that you actually stopped him and they waved off the fight. What's the first thing that came through your mind? Like, did you really believe it, or how did you actually feel after all that?
No, I mean, the first thing that came to mind was I did it. Because this was a fight that I talked about many years before, before I even believe I would get such a fight. I was telling my friends that I would beat Roy Jones if I get a chance to fight him. And these are guys who, all of us are big Roy Jones fan anyway, because we've been watching Roy for a long time, and all of us are big Roy Jones fan, including myself. So yeah, they mock me. They say, man, if you fight Roy Jones, he will kill you. He will this. He will that. So Jamaican guys, once you talk trash, you have to back it up. So once I got the Roy Jones fight,
Yes.
I was very, very excited, and making sure that I did everything that I said I would do. I would train hard. I was in tip top shape, because one, I know the kind of competitor he is, and I know the kind of fight that I have to fight to beat him. Because I always thought if you can keep continuous pressure on Roy Jones, he would break. He's not the type of fighter who stays set and stay ready to go. He's a pop shot fighter where he's through torque, three quick punches, and then he's looking to rest, reset, and then he throw his flashy punches again and reset, and taking, and all of those reset, he's taking a break because he used so much energy to throw those fast power punches. It takes a lot out of you. So I figure if I could stay on top of it, that would take away our fatigue game early. And so yeah, that was my game plan going in, and it worked. So once the knockout happened, yeah, it was a big relief. Now I have bragging rights over my friends that been bragging on me out.
Respect. So Marq, my
Yeah.
brother Marq is also in the building. He's streaming from his channel as well. So you're being seen on two different platforms. So Marq, what are your questions, man?
Well, first and foremost, thanks again for the opportunity, Major Key. And thank you again, Troy. Hey, Mr. Glen Johnson. My name is Marq Nash from Breakin the Beats. Thank you again for taking the time out your day to talk to Major Key, Troy, and I. I want to segue off of something you just said. You was talking about the Roy Jones victory. A lot of people don't know you fought 4 times that year. If I'm not mistaken, was it 3 or 4 times? But you had a busy year. You had beat Clinton Woods in a split. No, you got a draw, then you got a unanimous decision.
Right.
So now you're the IBF champ, right?
Right.
You fight Roy Jones for the IBF.
Right.
You turn around in less than 3 months. You're back in the ring fighting Antonio Tarver.
Yes.
And you beat him.
Yes.
Amazing. So my question is this. Man, you got to feel like you're on top of the world. Unstoppable. But here's the thing. That fight, I'm looking at right here, that fight with Tarver wasn't a unification. Why is that? You beat Drones for the IBF, but you faced Tarver for the IBO.
Yeah, so good question. This is the first time I get asked this question by a lot of people.
Switch.
Didn't know that. Yeah, so I won the IBF title, but for me to get the Tarver fight, Tarver wanted me to vacate the title that I won because he wanted to be the only champion in the fight. So that was an agreement that I had to agree to get the Tarver fight. So he was the WBC champion, and the WBC wanted him to fight the #1 contender for the WBC title, and he didn't want to fight that guy because it was somebody that nobody knows. So he vacated the WBC. He said he would vacate the WBC if I vacated the IBF, and then we would only fight for the IBO, and then we agreed to that, and so he was the champion going into that fight, and I was a challenger.
So it sounds like Tarver and the WBC messed up that unification. The WBC was pushing the mandatory.
I would say the WBC. I mean, I don't know if it's Tarver, because I wouldn't say it's Tarver. I think it's just the WBC. They have their mandate that, you know, they wanted their #1 contender to compete for their title. So I would figure, I mean, you know, I would say it's their rules because that's how it was put to me. So I have to go by what was told to me. So I would have to say the WBC is the person behind that.
So WBC was still at their games back then. But why did Tarver say I have to be the only champion? Wouldn't that have been great for him to come in as the well, he wouldn't have, was he the current IBO?
He had to vacate the WBC. I didn't have to vacate my IBF, but he didn't want me to come in as a champion while he had to vacate his WBC to fight me. So he said, you know, him and his camp, I don't know, but it was put to me that for me to get that fight, I had to vacate my IBF title. So
was the IBO vacant at the time?
No, he was already the champion for that.
Right, so he would have been the IBO champ facing the IBF champ.
Well, but he didn't want me to come in as a champion. So, you know, he to come in as a challenger just for his title, because I guess, I don't know, it could have been a unification for both titles, like you said. But yeah, you know, he obviously he didn't want me to have a power position, so he wanted to be the guy who will have the title. So we vacated and we got the title and we whooped that ass and took his title.
Right. Go back to you, Major Key.
Yeah, man. Listen. So I want to talk about, because he mentioned a couple names. Marq Nash mentioned a couple names, but man, people don't realize the resume that you have. A lot of these up and coming stars, they had to fight you, you know, and no matter what, they had to deal with a tough fight. No matter how much along your career, they don't remember about the Tavares class, the Lucien Buttes, all these people that became stars. They had to go through you at some point.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I took on all. You know, I never felt no one could beat me. So when their name came up, It was an opportunity to fight. I jumped on those opportunities because I always felt like I could come out of that fight as a victorious. Some of them don't go my way. Some of them was robbery. Some of them I got beaten. But nevertheless, you know, that was my path. That's the road I took, and I'm very proud of it.
We're proud of you as well. You know what I'm saying? This is why you have this platform today. We wanted to make sure that people appreciated that. I was going to ask you about your training and all that stuff, but I think I want to ask a broader question because this will kind of capture and move along the segment. Because I can ask a question about, you know, your most difficult training, your most difficult puncher and all of that, right? But what I want to ask you is, at this point, what's the biggest difference between what's going on right now in boxing versus what was going on when you were boxing? Because you see a lot of people, oh, we're best friends, we can't fight. Oh, you know, he talked too bad about me, so I don't want to fight. You know, like what's going on with this certain time with boxing? You see, you smiling because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's a different time now. I mean, you know, people are much more sensitive now and all of that stuff. I mean, you know, I feel like for me, boxing was about competition. So, you know, it's either you embrace the competition or you don't. Because for me, I could fight my brother, my cousin, I could fight any person in boxing because I know that it's a competition. It's not like I have ill will. It's not like I have a grudge. It's not like you know, if I have to fight an opponent I didn't like, I wouldn't care about any of it. I fight him anyway, just the same, because I embrace the competition. And I think people, a lot of these guys are in any sport or any one of these people who don't embrace competition, that's where they run into problems because it's either you don't believe in your skills or you do. And when you believe in your skills, that's when you're willing to put that on any platform because you just don't, you know, you just can't imagine or see or think of or see how you can fail because your confidence is just so high.
Right. So I'm gonna let my after this Troy Graham, of course, because he's next to follow up on this. But I'm gonna ask you a question. Remember in Living Color back in the days, in Living Color, the show, right?
Yeah.
So you that guy that be like, listen, what you mean you got one job? We got 4 jobs. Me a tailor, a boxer, me a masseuse, a chef,
Exactly.
a pianist.
Listen, I can run off some of those names myself, right? While I was boxing, I was also a bouncer. I was also a carpenter, and at the same time,
That's facts, man. People don't know about that. But okay, man, my bad. Troy, go ahead, man. Follow up.
True, yo, you was definitely a true yardie, man, and a hard worker. Respect to you, man. Respect. Yeah, you
Right.
said you were what, a tailor, Glenn, a carpenter, what, a mechanic, or what else, man?
Well, not a mechanic, not a tailor, but I did some bouncing on the weekends while I was doing carpenter work, while I was training for boxing, you know, and I like it was said earlier, I went to England and fought Clinton Woods and I won the title, the IBF title, and came back to my construction job as a world champion. The person wanted to interview me, a reporter wanted to interview me, and I tell them that I was at work. They couldn't believe it. They came to my job to see me on the job site to actually believe it. They had to see it with their own eyes. But I wouldn't give up my job that easily because, you know, I gave up my job when I fought Bernard Hopkins and had to go back to work. So I told myself the next time I give up my job, I had to be comfortable financially that I never had to go back to work again. So that's what I did.
Yes, sir. You know what I want to ask you, man? This is you have so many fighters today that say, well, I can't fight because I don't have enough time to fight and I didn't get enough time for prepared. Go ahead and explain. I'm sure you have a story about how they called you at the last minute, but you just took the fight anyway because you were in shape because that is part of your job, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I stayed in the gym. I've never not trained. I train every day. To prepare, and I work every day. Like I said, construction as a carpenter. I work from 7 in the morning to 3:30. I a lot of times they want me to do overtime, and I told them no because I have to go to the gym. So I never really do overtime work on this construction site. And I go take a shower, go to the gym. I be in the gym around 5 o'clock or so, and I train and go do my run, come back, take a shower and go to bed. And that was my life for 20 years. I don't go out and party. And on the weekends, like I said, I was doing bouncers work where I would go be a bouncer for Friday and Saturday night in South Beach because I live here in Miami. So, when somebody tell me that they don't have time for this and time for that, it all depends on how badly you want something. A person say they don't have time to do what they supposed to do to elevate their life, then that's tell me where they are and trying to elevate their life mentally. So, I don't really put too much into it more than I just know that's the person that doesn't have the drive to get to a next place.
All right. All right. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, man. Good.
Thank you. And
hey, then after Mark, listen, after Mark, we got another brother in the building, Rap Star. You got a gentleman over here from the UK that wants to talk to you as well.
Hey, Mr. Johnson, your toughest fight. Simple as that. Who was your toughest fight, and were they your toughest fight because they hit the hardest, or they were just so elusive? They just seemed like they never got tired. What was your toughest fight?
My toughest fight is Bernard Hopkins. And I just felt like his experience that he had at that time, the experience I had at that time was just so far apart. He in that moment while the fight was happening, I thought he was in my head. He was reading my mind because everything that I tried to do is like he knew it. He was able to, get away from it. He was able either to block the punch or slip the punch or counter the punch. But now that I got more experience, I know that I was more than likely telegraphing my punch, what I'm about to do. That's why he was able to read it. And but in the moment when I was fighting him, I didn't have the experience to know the mistakes that I was making. But later on in my career, I pick up those knowledge, and that's how, because I started to do those things to other people when they would make those mistakes. So I was able to understand what he was doing at at that time when I fought him.
Was he the hardest hitter though, or
no, he's not.
Who was that?
Oh, but the hardest hitter that I fought is first. Yeah.
Who? I'm sorry, you broke up.
Tavares Cloud.
Yeah. Okay, and this will be my last one. How do you feel about these YouTubers and athletes that are not boxers getting into boxing with apps like Triller? Yeah, they're making a lot of money, but some of these guys are getting hurt real bad out there. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I always said that a man may have the right to take whatever risk he wants to with his life because it's his. So, and I don't really grudge any person on how they get their fame. Boxing, I realize that not so much the skills of boxing is what appreciated by the crowd, by the audience of who support boxing. They basically want to support stars. So if the YouTubers they bring fresh eyes to boxing, I'm not going to complain because hopefully they will come to watch the YouTubers and they will see some boxing talent and they will get hooked and stay and don't just watch the YouTubers and go away. So that's my hope for that. And like I said, if a man is making an honest living, I don't really have any issues with him, because therefore I don't have to worry about getting out my car in the parking lot and looking over my shoulder for him coming up behind me. So I don't begrudge any man that's making an honest. If somebody's willing to pay for it, then do it.
I think Major Key has a question from the chat. Then we're gonna go to Rap Star, and also somebody has their mic unmuted while we're talking. It's kind of picking up. Go ahead, Major Key.
It's Rap Star. He has to mute his mic.
Yeah, it's all good. We're gonna move to Rap Star after this. Lisa Bales, queen of the YTBC. She has a question. She says, "I have a question, Mr. Johnson. Was Montell Griffin a tough fight because he's really crafty?"
Yeah, Montell Griffin is a very, very, very tricky. He had me guessing for a little bit when we fought. In the first couple of rounds, I was a little puzzled on some of the things he was doing to make me miss, and then I caught on to what he was doing, and I was able to put it to bed. But yeah, he's very tricky, very crafty. He's a smart fighter.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we're going to move on to Rap Star, and salute to everybody in the chat. By the way, I'll talk to you guys later. But right now, Rap Star, go ahead, man.
Yeah, what are you saying over there, man? Everybody out there?
Yeah, from across the pond, my brother from the UK. Yeah. He likes a nice introduction. Mr. Rap Star in the building.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming, Glen Johnson. I've been following you for years, man. How you feeling there, my brethren?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me, man. It is what it is, brother.
Yeah, man. I remember you fought many of my countrymen. I remember the first countryman you fought was Clinton Woods. Remember him?
Yeah. Nah, England been good to me. I came over there and fought a lot.
George Groves, Carl Froch. I mean, towards the end of your career, you did fight a lot of my countrymen, and I gotta say, you were always known as one of the toughest in that division. Everybody knew that Glen Johnson was one of the toughest, and I'm gonna say this. Sorry, go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, I have to represent. I mean, I come when you're in a foreign country, you have to fight harder, because you have everybody against you. You have the audience, the judges, the fighter who you're fighting. Everything is against you, so you're in a strange place. So you can't look for favors. You just have to go in and just fight hard and just convince everyone that you won the fight. And it's a hard thing to do, because we all know how people are. They have no mercy at times. So it's a difficult task, but it's one that I always take on.
Well, I gotta say this, right, Glenn, and I'm sure you might agree with Rapstar on this. I think some of your biggest glory days, would you agree, was when you was a big underdog with Roy Jones, and you proved the world that you were still one of the most biggest threats in the division when you knocked out Roy Jones. Was that one of your most glorious days of boxing, when you raised your hands after that victory?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said earlier, Roy Jones is one of my favorite fighter. And I have a lot of friends who love Roy Jones and believe in him. They even believe that he would beat me and everything. So, and they're my friends. So, it is what it is. But you have to believe in yourself. It doesn't matter who believe in you or who don't believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself, then that's where everything will fall apart. You know what I mean? So you have to be concrete with that. Doesn't matter what you're doing, what your profession is, or whatever. You have to believe in yourself that you can take that to the highest level. And once you have that belief, then you can take on any challenges that's in your way.
Now, the other thing I wanted to say is that you not only did it with Roy Jones, you did it with Tarver. You went on and beat Tarver after Roy Jones. You made a legacy. You beat two of the most biggest names at the time when they were big threats for the division. And that must have been another victory for you, that you must have felt you achieved what you wanted to achieve out of boxing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel real good in that moment. I mean, I felt like I was the guy in the light heavyweight division. And those fights also helped give me fighter of the year. So that proved my point, and that put the stamp on it that I was the guy in that moment.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, by the time I get to that stage, because I started boxing when I was 20 years old, so by the time I got to that stage, I was already older. I was in my late 30s. So it's it happened, and right after that, it started to fall apart.
Well, look, at the end of the day, you always will be a warrior for us. You know what I mean? You showed us that you not only did conquer in boxing, you proved to the world you are one of the best. You know what I mean? So I will say this. I got another question before I pass it on. And I want you, you can answer it as humble as you can. Behind the scenes of boxing, was the business of boxing kind to you, or was it cruel to you? Did you find it hard, or was there a lot of politics? When you wanted to make fights, was there a lot of things blocked? Like, do you see the boxing business as a dirty business, or do you think it was good to you?
Well, for me personally, I just believe that there was a lot of roadblocks. That's the reason why I have so much bad decision in my career. So I had to take chances, take the risk that most people didn't want to take. So I take them because I believe in myself and my skills, and I felt like that was the pathway for me. Because when people don't want to take fights, then it opened opportunity for the person who will take the fight. So I was that guy. So you can look at it in a lot of different ways. I wouldn't say boxing was cruel to me. Obviously, the politics of boxing is there for sure. But I make it what I could. I make what I could make out of it. With all of the challenges that was there for me, I still make the best of it. So, I want to look at that as a positive. I'm not going to look at it as a negative that could have been.
Okay. And I'm sure, is there any advice for a young fighter coming up? You have any advice for them? What's the best thing for the fighter to do, and how they should conduct themselves? And maybe, you might have some advice where you learned from that, so you can share it with the people.
Well, the only thing that I would say to a young fighter, one, you gotta learn, you gotta work on your skills, because that's what wins fights. You have to make sure that you know what you're doing, and once you know what you're doing, then you can go out and do it anywhere. And then the next thing, again, market yourself real hard, because that is one of the reasons why the YouTube guys now can come into boxing without not knowing a lot of boxing, but they are famous YouTubing and making themselves a star, and they can come into boxing and make a lot of money with one or two fights. So you definitely need to do that. That was not something that I was good at, because I always thought like I would let my fighting do my talking. And that would be something I would change if people asked me if I would change anything in my career, and I always said no. But now that I have more time to think about it, that would be the only thing I would change in my career. I would market myself a lot more, and try to capitalize on some of these these outside startup guys who can
Troy, go ahead and introduce, brother. Go ahead, Troy.
I'm sorry, brother. I was doing some work on the back end.
No, I said,
how you doing?
Go ahead. No, I was saying,
Glenn. Yeah, Glenn, we have someone here who'd like to speak to you, man. You know, Jonathan Felton, man. Let me get out this kitchen here because of that humming. Yeah, you know, he's good friends with Riddick Bowe, and he's well known in the, you know, he's definitely well known in the business, man. And I'm sure you two know each other. I'm sure you know each other.
Riddick Bowe is down here. I seen
what
6 or 7 months ago.
What go on, Glenn? We are dealing with, man. What?
Why nothing on go on? I'm here, man, taking it easy, watching some NBA playoffs. What's going on with you, bro?
Man, yo, right now everything crisp over here, sir. Just cool out and all them things that seen.
Bless. Where you there? Which part you located?
But they're upon Orlando.
Oh, you didn't know. I'm coming to Orlando, and I'm coming to Orlando.
that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah, I got a fight a heavyweight that's fighting in Orlando.
Yeah, man. Me and really both up on Tampa, so you know we just pass through and all them things that seen.
Oh, see. All right, I got you.
Yeah, man. So everybody, I just want to say, man, Glen Johnson, man, you know what I'm saying, rough and tough, man. Rough and tough like Bojo, for real. But Glen, everybody know, man. They say, you know what I'm saying, Antonio Tarver, you know, Tarver couldn't, you know what I'm saying, you know, Tarver's he's a good person, you know what I'm saying, for talking, but yo, he couldn't do nothing with you.
Oh yeah, I mean Tarver, all right. You know, I've been around him since I retired, so you know we're cool. He's you know he's still trying to make some noise in boxing, so I wish him all the best.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second for me. Jonathan.
Yeah.
You have like a clicking in your phone, you know. Can you jump off and jump back in for us?
Okay.
Okay, Breakin. Thank you. Okay, now, Glenn.
Yeah.
I know you're training now. You have any fighters you wanna tell us about that's coming up that you're working with?
Yeah, I mean, I have a heavyweight, Rafael Akajuri, Nigerian heavyweight, is 10-0 with 10 knockout. He's fighting in Orlando next month on the 11th. We're looking forward to that fight. That will be his 11th fight. We're hoping to go up there and be victorious. And then I'm promoting a show July 10th locally here in Miami. That he's also going to be on that card as well. And I have a junior welterweight. His name is Courtney Jackson. He's 19-1. A pretty good fighter. You know, we're looking to get into some major fight very soon. So those are my two guys that up front. I have some other guys who like 1-0 and 2-0, and some guys who's waiting to make their debut and stuff like that. You know, because you know I'm taking all of these guys from scratch. I don't have anybody coming from the Olympics or anything like that. All of my fighters, I start them from scratch where they never threw a punch before, and teaching them. So they're on their way.
Okay. You know what? I actually reached out to you about something that has, huh?
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna add another brother because I don't see him jumping back in the building. So we have somebody else backstage. So I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance because you know I appreciate Glenn's time. You know, and I want to make sure that whoever's a fan wants to get the question. And you know, so let's make sure though that anybody that's not speaking to Glenn mutes ourselves, and that's what we do, man. Welcome to the welcome to the channel, Shadow Ghost. And then after that, Marq, I think you. Who was next? Rapstar or Marq? I can't even remember.
Me. You know, I actually didn't get a chance to finish what I was going to speak to Glenn about real quick. Yeah, Glenn. You know, I was doing my research and I realized the country does not have a Hall of Fame. The country being Jamaica, that's where we're from and all that. It does not have a Hall of Fame for boxing, man.
Really? I didn't know.
So you know, yeah, it doesn't. As far as I know, we don't have a Hall of Fame for boxers. So you know, I'm reaching out to you and a couple other fighters I know, and I want to see if I get that process started of trying to get it, one actually built in the country, because I'm pretty sure we don't have a Hall of Fame for boxers.
Wow. I didn't know that, man. That's about that. I mean, it should be time now. We have a lot of great fighters that pass through. So, I mean, they need
more
to
than enough.
More than enough. A lot of monies that these people can, they can put together and create something like this. So we have a legacy.
Okay. Hey, my question was this. And then we'll go to Shadow Ghost, right? I'm not familiar if you're familiar with Glovegate, Mr. Johnson, but it was a lot of talk about Deontay. Go ahead. It was a lot of talk about possibly, some people are saying Tyson Fury's gloves were loaded. He possibly cheated. I think they said maybe Deontay's Wilder coach might have spiked the water. What do you say to claims like that about gloves being loaded or sliding off to make a slapping motion, egg weights in the glove, spike water? Whether I want to know, do you believe those claims? And two, in the year 2021, what can we do to clean up our sport? We shouldn't even be having those kind of conversations.
Yeah, I mean, that's very sad if any of that is true. That would be a sad situation that you have to spike water. That means, you just don't believe in your fighter. If you're having gloves that's loaded, that's saying you don't believe in your fighter. You don't. If the fighter did it, then he don't believe in himself. And I'm a guy who is a total believer that you need to believe in yourself and think that no man can beat you, that you get on the scale and he's similar weight as you are, then he should not be able to compete with you. And if you have to do something dirty, we need to get those people out of the sport and as fast as possible. And as far as the claim is concerned, I never really, it's not up to me to know if it's true or not. I'm not even close to any of those activities. So, it's hard for me to even have an opinion if it's a false claim or a real claim. I just know I never make excuses for a defeat. I never make any high claim for a win. I just go out and do my job and take my loss on my victory and go home. And if I get robbed, I tell people that I get robbed and they can see for themselves. That.
Go ahead, Major Key.
Well, actually, it's on Shadow Ghost right now. We're waiting on him, and then we have somebody in the background as well. And we're getting a lot of people flowing in right now. It was shared already on a couple of channels, this link. So the viewers are starting to pop up right now. So go ahead, so we can let in Eight's Money. So first, Shadow Ghost, you go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we got you.
Hey,
and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna set this up so we can let more people in while you're talking. All right, so I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Yeah, I'm gonna be just real quick. I was watching your fight when you fought. I think it was Montell Griffin, and you was beating him to the body the whole fight, right? And I noticed something back then that I see now, and it's the announcers. Like when I was watching that fight, and you was like beating him bad, right? They were like, "Oh, he's not really doing like a bunch of nothing." You know what I mean? Like they were kind of biased back then a little bit. And then you stopped him. And then like I see that today sometimes, even with like, I know like certain networks have fighters and stuff and they kind of like promote them, but I think like there's a lot of bias sometimes with the broadcasters. Do Did you see that or notice that even back then when you was fighting?
Yes, because I mean the broadcasters, they're working for the network, and the fighter that's signed to that network, that's who the broadcaster is mostly is concerned about promoting. So they are saying everything positive about that fighter and not so much about the other fighter. Now, if both fighters are signed by that network, then you would have mostly a fair commentary, because the fighter is, both of those fighters are signed to that network. So I noticed that, and I know that from I was competing. So when I hear that commentary now, I know exactly what's happening. So I don't really let it bother me or anything.
Okay, and then thank you, I appreciate it. And just one last thing, I don't know why I always ask this, but I'm always curious. I see fighters that sometimes that they have problems with like making weight, or sometimes. And what do you usually like when you make weight or whatever? What is usually the typical thing that you eat? Like, so let's say you've already made weight, you stepped on the scale and you're fighting the next day. Like I hear some fighters say they eat spaghetti for like energy, or like what would you usually eat that night if you're stepping into the ring the next day?
Yeah, well, for me it was pasta. I used to, I always go for the pasta, because that's what I was told that it was good for energy. So I always go for that. And then you want to try not to eat anything with too much grease in it, because sometimes grease sits on your chest, it doesn't digest well. So you want to try to get those things as plain as possible. And it's easy to digest. So one of the next thing you want to do is get a lot of water to hydrate and stuff like that. So you hydrate properly, and so come fight night, you're kind of back to the weight that you would normally be.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That's what's up. Yo, Shadow goes fall back for a minute, but you could click on the link after this, man. We have to let money in the building.
Okay, no doubt. I'll talk.
Hey, Major Key, let me ask a question, then I'll make room as well for somebody else. Yeah.
All right, just one question though, because we had him waiting back in the background for like 15 minutes. To be honest with you.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Glenn, it was nice. Glenn, it was nice chopping it up with you. So let me just say this, Glenn. In today's climax, you've seen the fighters we have today. The Jamal Charlos, the Demetrius Andres, the Canelo Alvarezes, the Kalen Plants. What do you think of these fighters today? And with Canelo Alvarez being the #1 pound for pound in many people's eyes, what do you think of him? And what do you think about the other fighters which were in that division now?
I mean, I like Alvarez. I believe he's a great fighter. I think he's one or probably top 3, because I like Crawford a little better, and I like Spence a little better, but he's definitely one of the top 3 guys. I believe that he's the best guy in his division. I think he's now like a super middleweight or something like that, or maybe middleweight. I'm not sure what weight class he's in, because he moves around so much. So yeah, I mean, I don't really see anyone in the pipeline that I know of. Doesn't mean there is nobody there that ready to beat him right now, but I don't really see them. I don't know of them. Everybody that I know of, I don't think will beat him.
Hey, thanks for your answer, man. Respect.
Go ahead, H Money. You got the floor.
Yo, what's good? Shout out to Major Key Boxing. Thanks for having me. Shout out to the champion, Glen Johnson, the man that knocked out Roy Jones Jr., put him to bed, put him to sleep. This guy right here was a special fighter. His high guard defense was one of the best in boxing. Glen Johnson, thanks for coming here and spending time with the fans. I want to ask you now about your high guard defense. I know Winky Wright had a similar defense like you, Marlon Starling. You see a lot of fighters nowadays using that same high guard. Could you tell me why you decided to use the high guard defense? What is so special about the high guard defense? What makes it the best?
Well, I mean, defense is about reaction, unable to see what the other guy is doing, what your opponent is doing. So for me, I always keep my hands high because what my eyes don't see, my hands will automatically catch if they're in the right place, because the person is punching at your face. If the guard is in front of your face, a lot of the times those punches will run into the guard. So, and because I was a fighter who was a pressure fighter, who want to stay close to fighters to do my damage, there's constantly punches that come in my way all the time. If you are a distant fighter, who if you're on the outside, then you don't have to have your eye guard up that much, because there's a lot of low in the action where people is looking at each other. They're basically studying what is the next move they should do. When the way how I fight, there's not a lot of lows in the action. There's not a lot of time to think about what to do next. It's just straight fighting for 3 minutes and for 12 rounds. You know what I mean? So I felt like having my guard high and was blocking and slipping. Whatever my eyes were able to see, I could slip it, or what my eyes don't see, I was able to catch on the guard.
Would you say, like when you're on the inside and you're walking your opponent down and putting pressure on your opponent, the high guard defense is the best in that situation?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's the reason why I do it. Yeah, you want to have your high guard defense. So, your reaction time sometime might be off, and that's your second line of defense, having your hands high. So, yeah, and like I said, I'm a pressure fighter. I like to stay close to my opponent, because if they throw a punch, I want to capitalize on that opening. Because when you throw a punch, that's when you create openings. That person move their hand off their body. That's when you want to dig into those rib cages and stuff. So I like to stay close enough to do those damage.
Yes, sir. That's why I loved your style. That's why you were one of my favorite fighters. And now my last question is: you've been in the ring with Bernard Hopkins when you were a very young fighter, and he was young, and you've been in the ring with Roy Jones. Who you think was the better fighter? Who would you say?
Well, I mean, Bernard Hopkins is my toughest fight, and I think the main reason for that is because I didn't have the experience I needed at that time to compete with Bernard Hopkins. By the time I got to Roy Jones, I was already an experienced fighter that could fight anybody in the world. So Roy Jones was an easier fight for me because of the experience I now have behind my skills. So I don't think it's not a matter of I don't know if who was better or whatever. I think Bernard Hopkins aged better than Roy Jones. Yeah, I think, but just from experience standpoint, I think Bernard Hopkins was just a very difficult fighter for me to fight when I fought him.
For sure. Thank you, champion. Appreciate it. This is H Money. Thank you so much, brother.
And listen, I appreciate that, H. So I mean, we have to respect the gentleman's time. So we do have Mad Chat up in the building, and then if y'all want to run back one last question, and then of course Glen Johnson, it's on you. We appreciate the time, of course. You know what I'm saying, because everybody's going to move to Marq Nash after this.
Mr. Johnson, the harder they come, the harder they fall. Much respect to the island of Jamaica, and much respect to the road warrior. You are a wingless angel. Glen Johnson, you were one of my favorite fighters. You were afraid to fight anybody at any time. And I just am so glad that you have your faculties, you have your life, and I think the best years are ahead of you, Mr. Johnson. And it's a privilege to see you here today. And thank you so much for stopping by. And it's just an honor to be here, Mr. Johnson. I don't have much to say other than the harder they come, the harder they fall, baby. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yes, I try my best to play good defense in all of my tough fights. I believe I fought all of the best fighters in my era, and I still think I have my faculties. So thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate it.
And before we
Much
go to the last
respect.
questions, before we go to the
Yeah,
last
Major
questions,
Key.
I want
Major
to make
Key,
sure
listen,
that
bro.
hold on.
Let
I
me
just
just
want
say
to make
this.
sure that everybody gets their names known to Glen Johnson. Mad Chad
Yeah,
Boxing
can I
has a
finish?
channel. You can subscribe to him. H Money has a channel. You can subscribe to him. Shadow Ghost 81 has a channel. You can subscribe to him. Rap Star Boxing Knowledge has a channel. You can subscribe to him. And Marq Nash also has a channel. You can subscribe to him. So besides that, go ahead, Rap Star.
Yo, anyway, Major Key, thanks for having me. Again, Rap Star from the other side of the pond. Another great interview. Glen Johnson, you be safe, man, and be healthy, bro. A warrior in the man. The man was a warrior. Everybody needs to recognize the young generation who doesn't know. This was a fighter who fought all comers. He fought everybody. And that's why, Glen Johnson, we won't get fighters like you anymore, because there's more politics now than what there was before. You know?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, and I hope to catch up with you soon, brother. You just keep it easy and keep it safe. I'm out of it, bro.
Thanks.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Peace.
So yeah, so that was Rap Star and Mad Chad that gave their final thoughts. Marq Nash or Troy Graham, because we're gonna move to Marq Nash after that. So Troy Graham, go ahead and give your final thoughts on Glen.
Oh, brother, I just want to thank you again for your time, man. We definitely appreciate the time that you gave us, man. And we definitely appreciate you, and thank you for all the work you put in boxing. And as I always say, you know, you have a social media home now. So if you ever need to promote one of your fighters, or you have anything going on with yourself, we're simply a phone call, email, or whatever away, and I'll call in from time to time and check on you just to make sure. How about that?
All right, Troy. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Right.
And also the last thing, man, I'm going to be checking in with you to, you know, just to let you know the progress on this Hall of Fame back on the island, man.
All right. Please do, bro. I appreciate that.
All right. All right. Much respect, man. Much respect.
Bless.
Mr. Johnson, Marq Nash here from Breakin Beats. Sorry. Last two questions. One, how did you get your nickname? I don't know if you ever told that story online, but can you tell people how you got your nickname? And then I'll follow with my second question after that.
Yeah, well, you know, I had two nicknames, and both of them was given to me by a reporter. My first nickname was Gentleman Glen Johnson, and a reporter said that, you know, he talked to a lot of fighters and athletes and stuff, and he really thought that the way how I conduct myself, I was a true gentleman, and all of these things, and you know, a lot of things, nice things he was saying, and I fell in love with what he was saying, so I named myself Gentleman Glen Johnson. And then some years later, another reporter was interviewing me, and he was asking me a bunch of questions, and he was like, you know, man, you fight all over the world. You go in everybody's backyard and you fight all of these tough fighters. Man, you like the road warrior. You know, and I was like, the road warrior. And I went back to my manager and I told him, I said, I want to change my name from Gentleman Glen Johnson to the road warrior. And he was like, no, why are you? Because, you know, everybody love Gentleman Glen Johnson. Nobody have that, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, I think I like the road warrior better because it suits me. I'm always on the road. I'm fighting in all of these different places. And I just like the sound of it. I like the warrior part of it, and the road, you know, the road warrior, being on the road all the time was a factual thing. So, and I like the warrior part in there. So I fell in love with that name. So I stuck with it.
Last question, cause I know you're busy, man.
Both of those names.
Right. Last question, cause I know you're very busy. You fought a lot of guys, champions, Hall of Famers, win, lose, draw, or robbery. You faced everybody damn near, right? But I got to ask you for that hot take now. I got to get you on this hot take. I want a little controversy.
Okay.
It's not trying to bring up old bad blood, but I want you to right here on Major Key and Marq Nash Breaking Beats. I want you to tell us who ducked Glen Johnson. Who didn't want that smoke?
Oh, there was quite a few.
Come on, drop them names, Glen Johnson. Let us know, baby.
He didn't want that smoke. He ducked me. We had
Who?
to fight, and he ducked all 3 dates. He find reasons to pull out.
Who? Say the name again.
Joe Calzaghe in England.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he definitely didn't want no smoke. We had 3 dates, 3 different dates, and he pulled out of all 3 of them. Signed contract to fight and everything, and he pulled out. So yeah, he definitely didn't want no smoke. And then
that was pre-COVID. That was before COVID.
Oh,
yeah.
That's way before COVID.
Man, I run from you like Duffy, man. And run from you like Duffy.
Who else who didn't want to rump and bumble clock with you, That's a terrible accent. I tried, though. Don't judge.
Well, the other person was in Canada. What's his name?
John
Pascal. We tried many times to get a fight with him, and he didn't want to fight either. And then I mean, the only other person that I didn't get to fight that was in my era is James Toney, because he moved up to heavyweight. He didn't want. He ate himself out of the division and went up to heavyweight. So, but those are the 3 guys. I never tried to fight James Toney, so because he was already heavyweight by the time I was able to make a name for myself. But John Pascal, I tried to fight him many times. He didn't want any. And Joe Calzaghe, we had 3 dates to fight, and he didn't want any. So, those are the 2 guys for sure. And 3 in total that I didn't get to fight in my era. So that's it. I can't think of anyone else that I didn't fight. I think I fought everybody else.
I appreciate you answering that so candidly. I'll pass it back to Major Key because, like I said, we respect your time and we don't want to keep you too long here because you might not want to come back. So we're gonna respect your time, and the next time you come, we're gonna keep you here for about 2 hours.
So first and foremost, man, shout out to, of course, everybody in the chat, everybody in the panel, but tell everybody where to find you first and foremost before I give my closing thoughts.
I mean, I'm Glen Johnson Boxer on the Instagram, and that's my only outlet. I don't really have much social media. That's my only outlet that I have is Instagram.
So Glen Johnson the Boxer and Instagram.
Yeah, just Glen Johnson Boxer. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect, brother. So hopefully everybody here go ahead and follow Glen Johnson, the Road Warrior. You know what I mean? But listen, man, I want to also say, man, apologies to everybody that Kelly Pavlik didn't show up. But we already had Glen Johnson booked. He was already on the schedule. I spoke to him about a month ago. A man of his word, he showed up. I just recently connected with Kelly Pavlik. He confirmed last night, so it's not my fault. But he didn't show up today, so it is what it is. But Glen Johnson did, and we have more questions for him. So I'm just happy that it worked out that way anyway, because we were able to get more out of Glen Johnson. So it is what it is, and I appreciate you, brother. You know what I'm saying? It is. You're always welcome on the platform, like Troy said. And we're all gonna pass it off to Marq Nash. Everybody go to the after party at Marq Nash, MarqNash, and go ahead and make sure you support the brother over there. And I appreciate you, Glen Johnson, again, man. Hey, salute to you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Take care.
The Road Warrior in the building, man. I'll talk to you gentlemen all later, man. Shout out to everybody that joined.
Much respect. All right.
All right, so we're gonna take it over there. We'll do the recap of the interview, open up the panel fully. Everybody can give their take on what y'all thought of the interview. Did we ask good questions? Did we ask bad questions? Questions that you guys thought we should have asked that we didn't? All that and more starting right now.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. How my mic sound? How my mic sound? 1 2 1 2. Okay, I see it. It's popping up. How y'all feel, man? I dropped the link out there. Y'all talk to me. Tell me what y'all thought of the interview. How do you guys think we did? Did we ask good questions? Did we ask bad questions? Yeah. Let me know how y'all think we did. That was our first time talking to Glen Johnson, former IBO, former IBF champion. I thought it went pretty good. Slugger saying, what up? How you feeling, my G? Jashawn Brown, what up? Smoke Free, what up? What up? What up? Sir Senior, my G, what up? D Bevel, my brother, thank you again, man, for the support. Definitely don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly. Let me end this one over here. All right. But yeah, the link is out there. Y'all pull up, man. Chop it up with your boy. Tell me what y'all think of the interview. We got some great information we never heard before. Right. Got him on the hot take. I had to ask who was ducking the smoke? Who didn't want it with you? Glen Johnson said Joe Calzaghe didn't want no parts of me. He said, yeah, he didn't want no parts of me. Jeff, what up, my brother? Pull up. The link is out there. Slugger saying, what up? We don't always see eye to eye, but I respect you as a man. How about that? Y'all talk to me. What did y'all think? Do y'all really think Joe Calzaghe was dugging him? What did y'all think of his response to the Wilder Glovegate question? He also he said a lot. He talked about the Tarver. Did y'all hear? What about what he said about Tarver? About Tarver wanted him to drop his belt to fight him because Tarver wanted to be the only champion. So that could have been a unification bout. But the WBC said, hey, no, Tarver got to fight is mandatory. And Tarver said, okay, well, if I got to fight my mandatory, I want you to drop your belt. I want to be the only champion coming in the ring. Why not fight for the unification? What you think of that, Mad Chad? How you doing, my brother? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Mr. Nash, shout out to Major Key and shout out to the champ, Glen Johnson. That was some great shit. That's the best shit you can find right there. You know, I was running the stream there and then you find Glen Johnson. I'm like, oh my God, Major Key's got Glen Johnson. It's Monday. And
Absolutely.
There's the champ right there. And that was some great shit. He answered the question, Marq Nash, you know, unadulterated. He answered it right to the point. And that was some good shit because what a champion he was. To garnish the name, the gentleman, and then to go on with the road warrior, and to hear this man speak tonight, Marq Nash, what a beautiful man and what a champ he was. And that was some great shit tonight, Mark. And I just want to give shout out to Glen Johnson again. I mean that was amazing. And Mark, that was some good stuff. And you always run some tight stuff, Mark. And I met you through Major Key, and you know, just great stuff here. And this boxing game's trending up. And to hear a great warrior like that's been through all these wars, you know, from Jamaica, and to do his thing, and to have his faculties. Like, he's still an intelligent, bright man that's recollecting every single, you know, he remembers every fight and every feint and every counter, you know, and that's a beautiful thing to see in today's world, you know. Shout out to Glen Johnson and Major Key and Marq Nash. Great shit.
Absolutely, man. I want to say again, shout out to Major Key. Like, I can't express it enough. Guys don't do that. You know, reach out to other content creators. Say, hey, I like what you're doing. I remember I did my first live. I was on Major Key's very first live, and he was like, you know what? I appreciate you pulling up. How did you find me? And we just stayed in touch. He started coming to my panel. He did a rap battle over here and things like that. But for him to say, hey, man, I like what you're doing. You helping me grow my channel. I want to help you grow your channel. I got this interview set up. You know, let's do this simulcast thing that you was talking about. So I think it was super dope. What do y'all think, though? You think Joe Calzaghe was ducking? Was it just not enough money? Was it too much, you know, not enough money for the risk? Because Glen Johnson definitely was a road warrior. Like, going over the pond, I don't want to hear that he didn't want to fight over there. You know, I'm trying to figure out why they couldn't get that fight made. What you think, Mad Chad?
You know, you just mentioned it, Mr. Nash. You know, it's risk reward. It still pays to this day. You know, and and he's fighting in a time, and it's not a time where it's just, you know, 50 fights in a, you know, Like the fighters are, back in the day, they would fight how many times in a month? I mean, I think when Robinson lost to LaMotta, they fought 2 weeks later. It's a whole different time. And I think it was all about risk reward at that time. And I don't think Calzaghe, I think what we heard from Mr. Johnson was right on the money. He didn't want that smoke. The risk was too much. The risk was too much.
I'm gonna open the phone lines up as well. Go ahead. You keep talking. I'm gonna open the phone line up.
But I want to go in off what happened in Japan.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, it's great stuff for people to promote this greatest game in the world. I'm a huge sports athlete fan. I just love watching competitive sports. But believe me, fellas, there's not a greater sport in the world. You can end up on Mars or intergalactical. You're not going to find a greater sport than the sweet science. And it's just a great thing to promote these fights that are coming up, and especially pay homage. And you can learn so much from these Glen Johnsons, these ex-gladiators, these ex-warriors. I mean, that was just a beautiful thing. I'm still kind of starstruck by that. That was good shit.
You say you're a little starstruck a little bit?
Not starstruck in a way, but just to hear him right there, Glen Johnson, because when Major Keith mentioned he'd have him on, I didn't know what condition he'd be in, because I haven't heard about him in a while, and he's all there, man. That man's all there. He'd pound the fuck out of me.
Right, and he still look good, right? Pause. Like he don't look like I don't think he's about to fight at light heavyweight, but he don't look like he just let himself totally go.
No, his mind is sharp as a whip. He still, talks the same as he did back in the day. His mind sharp as a whip.
Oh yeah, that part too. I was just talking about how he just looks like he's still in decent shape. You could see it in his face. But more importantly, like you say, he definitely sounds like he got all his faculties together. He don't sound sluggish. He doesn't sound punch drunk. No pun intended. Shout out to the brother punch drunk. He don't. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, Jeff, he looks straight, man, and he sound good. He definitely is still an entrepreneur. He's doing things with it. He didn't sound bitter. He didn't sound like one of these old boxers who are bitter about the way their career went. He didn't sound bitter about the fights that he might have got robbed on. He definitely still is riding the wave of that Roy Jones and Tarver wins. You get what I'm saying? Back to back. Come on, bro.
Man. That's beating Magic Johnson and Larry Bird in the same season. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Like, to fight Roy Jones less than 3 months later, you fight Antonio Tarver. Come on, bro. It's like you went. It's like a training camp. It's like you entered the fight and just jumped right into training camp and promotion. Like less than 3 months. Less than 3 months. That's crazy.
Warrior. Like, you could just take the road out of it. This dude was a warrior at home, on the road. Like, you could put him on a spaceship, send him up to fight the aliens. Glenn would get out and just start battling. He's just a warrior. But what a humble warrior. That was just a really refreshing thing to see. An ex-gladiator that's been through all those wars and just speaking honesty with the people that love boxing. And that's what it's all about. And I think he's a special fighter.
Absolutely. Again, the phone lines are open. You guys want to call in, give me your reaction to the Glen Davis interview. 678-381-1938. Again, 678.
Not big baby Glen Davis, not Glen Davis, Glen Johnson.
I said Glen Davis?
I think you did. I think you go with the Celtics fucking old big baby Glen Davis, wasn't it?
I said Glen Davis. Well, y'all know it was Glen Johnson. Glen the Gentleman Johnson, aka the Road Warrior. AKA the Road Warrior. He pulled up today. As Major Key said, we was not able to get in touch with Kelly Pavlik. We did have that set up. It was kind of last minute, but the Glen Johnson.
We got the Rastaman on. Marq. Major Key got the Rastaman.
Right. We were supposed to have Kelly Pavlik up. That was last minute, but the Glen Johnson interview has been scheduled for a minute, so we were able to get that done. And I really hope you guys appreciate it. You already know I'm gonna try to chop up some of those clips and some of those hot takes from the interview. I think it went very well overall. Brother Troy Graham just pulled up. Maryland, what's up?
Yeah, man. Just wanted to stop by and show you some love. We appreciate everything you do, man, with the artwork and and linking up with us and all that. So thank you, man. You definitely appreciate it.
Thank you,
Definitely
Troy.
appreciate
And hey,
it, man.
look. It's one thing to be appreciated. It's another thing where people invite you over for dinner. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Man. So
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you guys letting me eat with y'all and share the broadcast and share the stream. I was just telling the audience, like, people don't do that. People just they do their own thing and you do your own thing. I see you at the top, but I appreciate you guys like what we're doing over here and allowing me to do the simulcast and allowing me to have a seat at the table. It really is a lot for me. I appreciate it. My audience appreciate it, and I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, but you owe me 50 push-ups for calling the brother Glenn Davis.
I just said Glenn Davis for real. Did I say Glenn Davis? He said I said it. I don't think I said it. I'm gonna check the playback. But hey, look, we're doing a lot. I didn't do that. Hey, look, I know on the show I didn't do that though, right?
No, you didn't do that on the show. You just did it.
I just called him Mr. Johnson. I kept saying Mr. Johnson. Let me ask you guys this, Troy. How did you think the interview went, man? Did you think it was some questions now that we're off? You're like, damn, I should have asked that, or how did you think it went?
Well, yes. I honestly, man, at the end of any show, I always feel that there was a question or two that you should have asked. But to be honest with you, it all depends on the guest. Because last week was a little bit more, high tempo because of who we had on, right? This week is a little bit more settled because of who we had on. So the guest actually is the one that actually sets the tone of the interview, right? And Glenn is very laid back. Glenn is very laid back. So the show was very laid back this week. As of last week now, the show wasn't laid back because brother's very, high octane, right?
I thought he was chill to a degree. Tone. I guess tone and pitch matters too. So his tone and his pitch where his delivery was different. I definitely think Glenn Davis sounds more like he's retired. Like, man, I beat Roy Jones, man, and I knocked him out. What? Come on, man.
And he beat Tarver, yeah. So there you have it.
3 months later, less than 3 months later.
Rostam and people from Jamaica, they're just chill, man. They just chill.
True that. Yeah, we are. I asked somebody one time, he asked me to rush to do something on the job. And I asked him, how many Jamaicans do you know? He said, I don't know any. I said, yeah, you know one. You ever seen me rush?
Yo.
Yeah. But that was some beautiful stuff, Troy, man. That was good to see Glenn doing so well with himself and everything. That was really, really refreshing. That was good shit.
I tell you what, man, it speaks a lot to his character and just his strength, man, his inner strength, because he clearly got robbed when he fought Chad Dotson, and Cloud was the worst one.
Robbed? Oh my God, did he get robbed?
Cloud
that
was the worst
talking
one.
About robberies. That he got robbed a couple times, and not just that time. This dude was robbed.
And they were clear robberies to the point where you could hear the entire crowd just booing. It wasn't like I'm saying that, but you can hear it on TV.
The fight is looking like, really, I won?
Yeah, exactly. And then he fought Alan Green. They're still good friends, right?
I didn't know that.
What the fuck? The Jadon Codrington, was that the same Alan Green?
Yeah, that's the guy that knocked him out, what, I don't know, 10 and 11 seconds or whatever it was.
That was knockout of the year, I think it was. Alan Green. Yeah, a good friend of mine from Oklahoma.
Yeah. I actually reached out to him, man, and sent him the link for the show, but I'm guessing Alan was busy. But because I would have loved to have him on the same time Glenn was on, man, because I know they're still good friends.
I used to be in a lot of contact with Alan Green because I was in contact with Carson Jones. I mean, I used to talk with Carson quite a bit, and they're all from that Bobby Dobbs stable, I think, out there in Oklahoma.
Yeah, man. But all in all, Marq, how did you think everything went with the show and the sound and all that?
Beautiful. It went beautiful. I heard a little clipping early, but I thought it was a great fucking show. I think you just have to rip down the rearview mirror and be thankful for what we got there. We had Glen Johnson, we had the champ, the road warrior, the gentleman right there chilling back. Like, he was so chill. That was a smooth, silky smooth fucking session there, fellas. I mean, I don't think you could take away nothing but positivity from that.
I agree to a point. I definitely don't agree about. I agree with. Let me start with the positive. I agree with what you're saying. Be thankful everything went through. He came and he showed up and he stayed for a minute. He was very candid, very open and direct with his answers. Yeah, perfect. But I don't agree with where you ripped down the rearview mirror part. Because I think you need that to make the next one even better and better and better. You get what I'm saying? So you got
agreed.
So you got to look at it. In the Army, we used to call it AAR. You'll do an after action review. You'll talk about the mission, what went well, what went bad, what can we do to improve. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's key, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't think you're pointing fingers and taking shots. It's not a bitch session. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean no disrespect to bitches when I say that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. I'm joking. But it's a point where you talk and you get through the things and you say, hey, we can do this better. Hey, it was a time where I know guys weren't having their mic muted consistently, and it was causing like the little crackling sound because Glenn was fine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That crackling sound, that just comes with mic discipline. Once you're muted, it's not your turn. You don't have to have your finger on the mute button to unmute it real quick because you want to just say ha ha. You know, you want the ad libs or your laugh, or you want to say I agree. No, you can just sit there. It's okay.
Fucking right, Mark. You stressing points right now of facts, especially if you have a Glen Johnson caliber type guest. Hit your fucking mute button, you fucking nut. Whatever, you know what I mean? It's just common courtesy to me and common sense, Mark. But absolutely point that out because, you know, if that's a thing, you know what I mean? That's unacceptable when you have that magnitude of a celebrity on your panel. You know, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, Troy, what you think? Do you agree with that part of it?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Because I'm actually notorious for that. Just hitting that button so much that sometimes it gets stuck, and I got to jump in and jump back out. Yeah, it gets so. That's true. That's all mic discipline and actually just being patient.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with you admitting that. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with you admitting that, and it actually says a lot about your character. That you like, hey, you know what? I'm guilty of it as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's something we can work on. Also, it was a part where Brother Rapstar. No, I'm not picking on him, and I don't want to say this behind his back. I'm saying this on the live so he can see it, and it's all respect. Major Key was trying to say something at the end, and he cut him off, and then Major Key kept talking. Then he tried to cut him off, and you know what I'm saying? It was like 3 or 4 times, like back to back, where it was like, hold up, bro, let him do it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if his audio is better than yours, and he's the one presenting this to us. So I just think it comes with a little studio etiquette, little discipline, little patience, and it's nothing that can't be fixed. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, when you know the guy's trying to talk, because I think I asked Glenn a question, and this happened last week with David Benavidez. I wasn't quite finished asking my question, and they started answering. So I don't know if it was delay or if I was just still trying to finish it. But when I hear the playback, it just sounds like I'm trying to finish it, and I'm like, I don't remember that happening on the live. So I guess it was a delay for me where he already started answering. So I'm guilty. You get what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. Y'all know this ain't my medium. I come from the hip hop genre. So I appreciate all the love that I get from the boxing community. I appreciate you guys accepting me in with open arms, letting me come over here and get my bars off. And I appreciate like I said, the collaborative work that we got going on and the stuff we have going on in the future. Troy, I need your info because when I did the Stitch interview this weekend, I was trying to get up with you and Major Key, and I only had Major Key info. You get what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't got Troy. Instagram, I ain't got his email. Every time I talk to him, it's with Major Key. So I need your info so I can plug you in. Because I got one coming up. Can I announce it now? Or should I put it in the backstage? Should I put it backstage or should I announce it? What should I do? Let's announce it. We got Anthony Dyrell, who has committed to doing the interview. 2-time middleweight champ, super middleweight, right? Anthony Darrell. Yeah, super middleweight because he lost to Benavidez. So the dog, Anthony Darrell, is gonna come on Breaking Beats, and we're gonna do a simulcast with Major Key, and we're gonna do the interview, man. Troy, you already know. I appreciate you, and I'm gonna get you in there, man. So we can get you in on that as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I definitely wanted to talk, do a recap with you guys about this weekend too, real quick. What y'all thought of that Haney and Linares fight? Let me put the graphic on the screen. I did want to get y'all take on that before I wrap it up. So I'm gonna be here for about another 30 minutes, and I'm gonna let people call in. I've got a clip from the interview I did with Stitch, and Stitch, as you know, was working the Haney corner. So for me to be able to talk to him on Sunday, right after he worked that fight on Saturday, come on, man. You can't make this shit up. And I had him for an hour, and I just talked to him by myself for an hour, bro. Right there at the end, somebody came in, and I let them ask a question, but it wasn't a live, it was a pre-recording because I want to do some things with the graphics to make it pop out. But he had a good time, and he wants to come back, and he wants to do a live. So maybe I can get Stitch to come on Major Key for the live. You get what I'm saying? And show some love that way. What y'all think of that? What y'all think of that in the chat? What y'all think of that?
Win situation. That's all it is. That's all it is, Mr. Nash. That's win. You promoting these fighters, you're promoting the sport. It's a win.
I tell you what, man, as far as this weekend goes, as boxing fans, we were very blessed, man. We saw two things. We saw, a young man that's coming up in the sport. That's Devin Haney. He went through some things, and now some people are trying to say that he was exposed. He wasn't exposed. He just went through, he went through some adversity and he won. Then we saw some from Donaire. He added to his legend. At 38 years old. He won another title, and which was at flyweight, and he won it in great form. He didn't just win on points. But he put that brother out. And if I'm correct, I think he gave that champion his first loss, right? That was his first loss.
Hold on one sec. I got Major Key just pulled up in the building. Major Key, we're talking about we was recapping the interview, and also we was talking about doing the Jorge Linares fight. We was giving you your flowers, my brother. Telling you thank you for the opportunity.
No, I appreciate everybody on this platform. Fuck me. I'm just an honest guy, bro. Like, that's all it is, man. And guess what? If I fuck with you because you fuck with me the right way, then my roses go to you first. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I got nothing but love for y'all. So don't even worry about me, man. There's a long road ahead. So don't stop every couple of inches to give me my roses so I could give you my roses, because we got a long way to go. So fuck
absolutely.
That. You know what I mean? So but I understand what you mean, though. But we got a lot of work to do, and we just getting started.
Yo, shout out to Shadow Ghost. Shadow Ghost, this your first time pulling up on the panel, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, man.
Let me give you the bill.
Yes! Fuck you!
Go ahead.
That's my man right there. All right. Hey, man, I just my bad. Hey, you know what? I had subscribed to you, bro, and I just resubscribed to you because there was a couple of months ago, bro, where I had to refresh my PC and I had to resubscribe, and I totally forgot to resubscribe to you, bro. So I
know what happened. I probably said something about one of your fighters or something, and you was like, "Fuck him."
Nah, I don't do that. Nah, I don't do that. I literally had to refresh my PC and stuff, and I changed my account. You know what I mean?
As long as you don't talk about Chris Colbert, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I ain't like that. Nah, I changed my YouTube account, and then I had to, switch my shit. But nah, man, you good, man.
Hey, I'm gonna let Troy finish because Troy was you good, brother. I don't take that shit that to heart. We're gonna let Troy finish because Troy was talking. First of all, we was talking about the interview. Also, I was telling guys about the Stitch Duran interview I did this weekend and how I could not get in touch with Major Key. And when I got in touch with him, my brother was like, "I don't see the live." I'm like, "It's not live. We're doing a pre-recorded." He was like, "Oh, well, I ain't even home right now. I'm in these streets with my family." I was like, "Damn," but we gonna definitely have multiple ways to reach each other so that doesn't happen going forward, because it was a hell of an interview with Stitch Duran that I did, and he wants to come back.
Yeah,
he wants to come back, man. and he said
I mentioned it on multiple channels, by the way, bro. Great interview.
Oh man, he said, let's go again. He said, I said, well, I normally go live 10 to 12. He said, well, let's strike, let's do it again. Let's strike while the iron is hot. I was like, oh, he want to come back. In fact, he loved the interview. The interview so much. My intro, when I introduced him, he said, can you send me that? Because that's the best intro I ever had. I want to use that on something. I don't know what I'm gonna use it on. He said, but you definitely did your research. And man, we talked for about an hour, just solo dolo, me and him. So I'm excited about you guys seeing that interview. And when he comes back, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to get him on Major Key. So he came over here, showed me some love, and I built up a rapport with him. That was my second time talking to him. My first time doing a long form interview. First time it was just at the weigh-in for the Tank Davis Gamboa fight. We chopped it up. I asked him a couple questions. Shit was cool. This right here, he started feeling your boy. Y'all gonna see it in the interview. You're like, damn, y'all still talking. You know what I'm saying? And he answering every question. I asked him about Glovegate, asked him about the date. I'm gonna play this clip about what he said. And for those who haven't seen it, it's him talking about Haney getting hit with the shot. But while I set that up, Troy was talking about speaking of the Haney fight, the undercards and all the other fights that we had this weekend. Troy said, hey, we got a great treat. And go ahead, Troy, you was talking about Donaire adding on to his legacy, growing, just getting another title. We was trying to remember, well, was that guy undefeated? Was he an undefeated champion that Donaire took it from? I can't remember, but go ahead, Troy, you got the floor.
Yeah, I was saying that the fans got blessed this weekend. We saw two things, man. We saw a young fighter that took a real good step forward. Yeah, he got wobbled, but you know what? He didn't fall down. He didn't lose, and he did what he needed to do to win. A lot of these fools now are saying, oh, he was exposed. Exposed how? The fact that he could get hit in a fighting sport? What do you think is going to happen when you fight? You're going to get hit. So I don't understand that foolishness. And, then with Donaire, you saw him just add on to his legend, because it's rare in any sport that you have two guys that are legends that are still active and are still winning, that are from the same country. That's him and Mr. Pacquiao over there. So bless up to him, and I would love to get him too, because he has a lot of strength in his character as well. Matter of fact, that's the next person I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna do some work with. I'm gonna just speak that in the truth. So there you have it.
Oh, the floor open. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, I don't mind talking to Stitch on my channel, which I appreciate, but I would prefer to challenge him on some boxing Jeopardy on Friday nights. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm really trying to do with him,
For sure. Go ahead, Asia man.
Woo, I'm on a hot streak, man. Yeah, I got to break my hand patting myself on my back. You should, you done took it down so the audience can hear. Oh, salute to the chat. Salute to everyone on the panel.
Yeah, what's going on, Asia?
I guess none of y'all, with the exception of Marq Nash, heard my pre-fight breakdown of the Haney of the Haney Linares fight. And man, go ahead, ask the question. What's up?
Oh, yeah, what happened though? I'm just I'm trying to have you carry
what was my prediction? You saw it in the fight. You saw that fight. The transgression he went through, the tribulations he went through, how he was able to keep Linares honest for first half of the fight, and how he was able to persevere. That was in all of my pre-fight predictions. And ain't no sense in capping since it was already recorded, just play it back. Man, they Jamal capping again. There you go. Woo, play it back and listen to everything I said. So yeah, I'm on a hot streak.
I had Haney winning this fight. You know what I mean? I thought he would win with his youth, with his talent. 22 years of age with that amount of talent against a veteran that's definitely still dangerous. But again, I could repeat: if Haney's to fight the fight, if Haney fights his fight, He wins 11 rounds to 1. He does not get wobbled. And everybody's talking about him not getting wobbled. They're talking about how unfun it was to watch. Because Haney was the better boxer. He was faster. He was quicker. He was better on his feet. He fought at better angles. But Haney tried to impress the crowd. And Haney tried to get into the phone booth. And if Haney is to fight a T.O., and if Haney is to fight a Tank, he best fight the Haney game. He best take his best attributes and play him to his advantage, because he's definitely not a brawler. He's not a Roberto Duran. He's not a Margarito. He's not a haggler. He's a Sugar Ray Leonard against a haggler. He needs to fight with his feet. He needs to fight with his jab. He needs to stick and move. There is no need for this young man at this age to stand in the phone booth. I don't know what the corner's telling him, but there was no need of him to get clipped in the 10th round. He was ahead of that fight 8 rounds to 1. I don't know what the fuck he's doing at the end of the round in there throwing combinations like that. He's playing to the crowd. He's playing to the media. He's playing to the hype. Don't play with the hype, Haney. Fight your fight and let it come. But that was my take on that fight. But what a talented fighter he is.
I want to add the Mad Chad with that, and I'll pass it back around. I think Shadow Ghost, you're trying to get in. That's exactly what I was thinking. I saw what he was doing is similar to what Mayweather does. You go out there, you see if the guy can take the shit. After a couple rounds, you step to him. After the first 2 rounds, he could take the shit. All right, you box him, break him down, body shots. Midway through, same way with Ward. Like, you step to that guy, you close the distance. You start trying to walk him down. Now, what Mayweather has realized is similar to a Baltimore fight, similar to a Juan Manuel Marquez fight, similar to Cotto. Where Cotto was different, but after a while he realized, okay, this guy gonna be here all night. He ain't going nowhere. He goes back to he switches the game plan. You know what I'm saying? And he just boxes smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit you. You can't hit me. I'm gonna make you chase me, because he don't backed up all the rounds. You know what I'm saying? But I think that was more of a lapse of concentration right there at the end of the round, because that's when the fight is the most dangerous for the fighter too. The beginning of the round and those last 10 seconds.
Takeoffs in the landing. Takeoff in the landing.
Come on, man. Like gauging the distance right away, or right there at the end of the rounds, the last 10 seconds, you just get a little too comfortable. And Devin got a little too comfortable in the kill zone. He had felt a lot of the shots. He got hit with some good shots, but that was the shot he didn't see coming. And that was the one that hurt him a little bit. I'll pass around the mic. I got the clip queued up whenever y'all want to see it though, but go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'll go real quick. They were talking. I think I was like last night.
Take your time, Shadow. Take your time, bro. You're a friend of the show.
Okay, I appreciate it, man. Well, last night I was over at H Money. They were talking about we were talking about the rounds and stuff. Some people have an issue with so me personally, I gave Haney 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gave him all the way up to round. I think it was round. I gave him 9, and then I gave Linares 10, 11, 12, and I think I gave him 9. I had to look at it again. I think I got to remember what I said yesterday, but I know that 4 is a swing round. And I was looking at 4 because when I rewatched the fight, and there was a lot of body work that was being done, but I can see how you can give a straight up all the way up to 9 to Haney. But we were talking about the 10th round, the one where he got, the right before the bell. And a lot of people were saying, well, how can you do that when you see how he outlanded him that round and stuff like that? And then so I alluded to the fact that, Steve Weisfeld, if y'all remember, he's like a veteran judge or whatever. And it's actually it's a pretty good article. It's PBC. It was done in 2015. And he basically lists all the things that the judges be looking at in rounds. And he goes into the categories. The clean punches is number 1. Defense is number 2, effective aggression, ring generalship. And so when some people say, oh, well, he's on his bicycle. Well, no, that's being ring generalship in certain ways. And they look at the defense and then so effective aggression. But he talks about, in the extreme rare case, a judge scoring a round either wise, the judge might side with the boxer who was the aggressor, theory that he's trying to make the fight. However, the key is whether or not the aggression is effective. But on the on the subject of clean punches, he says, to me, clean punches are the most important aspect, and other factors are really tied to that. So basically, if a person lands 10 punches, but the other guy lands 4, but one of those 4 makes you wobble or knocks you down or whatever, they look at that as being more important than you outlanded him. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I could see why some people give that 10th round to him. So, and that, you know, so I gave him 10, 11, and 12, definitely from that moment on, because in the 11th, he was holding. Seems like he was trying to regroup. And in the 12, he did, you know, he was engaging a little bit, but for the most part, he was, you know, still going backwards and holding, which then is effective aggression. So that's another round.
All right. So me, I'm glad that he said that the 9th round was a swing round, right? And I'm glad that you posed a question in the chat. You know, because as far as one punch doesn't win a round, right? I don't think one punch wins a round, but if you have a consistent round that's competitive, which the whole fight was competitive, but the beginning seemed to be very dominant by Haney. The later rounds were competitive, and then the most devastating punch of the round was Linares. I gave him the 10th round, and the 11th and 12th, and then I gave him the 4th. I didn't give him the round of the 9th, and I think he outlanded Haney that round. I could be mistaken, but I believe he outlanded Haney. But I felt like Haney hit him with the most devastating shot that round. So so I flipped it around. So I had it 8-4 Haney's side, and I was happy with that. I actually because what I wanted out of it, and I was on H Money's channel battling motherfuckers for 3 days that they was hating like a motherfucker. But I was like, look, man, I just want to see him try. If he can't do it though, I want him to be wise though and back up and use his boxing skills, because I don't want him to risk his career on the strength of getting a knockout. You know, just try though. Try. If you can't do it, then back up. You know what I mean? And do what you do best, which is boxing. So I understand the fact that why they tried, but it also showed some kinks in the armor where, okay, you have to know by yourself without your corner telling you that, hey, if it's not working and you feeling some shots, start backing up and do what you do. You know what I mean? I know they just told you to go in, but okay, they just told you to go in, but during the round, you know what I'm saying? You got hit a couple of times with some hard ass punches. You know, you're not looking so great after that. So go ahead and back up and just do what you do. Don't try to go in like if you were Edgar Berlanga and trying to knock motherfuckers out. You know what I'm saying? Like just chill and do what you do best. Your accolades are boxing. So keep to the skills.
Hey, Major K, just real quick, because I'm trying to read the chat at the same time, and I understand because I see some people saying no, you know, one punch doesn't win a round. No, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that if you look at what a veteran referee is saying in his own words, and matter of fact, I should have just read the shit. Look, I'm gonna just read there's two paragraphs. He says, clean punches to me are the most important aspect. Other factors are really tied to that. Take the phrase effective aggressiveness. How a boxer is effective. He's effective by landing clean punches. How about a defense? A boxer shows great defense by not letting people getting hit with clean punches. Finally, the term ring generalship. So he says, let's focus on the phrase clean punches. It may not be initially apparent, but there are various elements included with the phrase. So first, the number of punches. That's what we're talking about. The boxer who lands more punches generally wins that round. However, the harder punches count more than lighter punches. Now, there's no mathematical formula that equates to the number of punches with the hardness of a punch. The judge has to weigh on two bases. They have to weigh on the two based on experience. But more important than the number of punches are the hardness and the effect of one's punch. For example, if a seemingly lighter punch that causes a boxer to stagger is scored higher than a harder punch that has absolutely no effect. So he's saying that one punch, in essence, if it staggers you, that it counts a lot.
Hey, Mark, can I say one more thing? I don't want to interrupt. I
got a phone call.
I want to hear my brother
Major Key. I got a phone call.
Okay.
Let me take this caller real quick.
All right.
Go ahead, caller. You on the line?
Oh, this is Lisa.
Hey, Miss Lisa, how you doing?
Hey,
Oh, what's going on,
You
Miss
did.
Dubs?
Lisa.
You said call in.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Give me your take on this.
What's up, sis?
2 questions. One, is Devin Haney chinny? And one, does one punch win a round, in your opinion?
Chili, I just saw. I mean, I saw that he got rocked, but I think that could happen in any fighter. You know, that's not nothing unusual for me is watching. You know, watching what in boxing, but he was in the pocket more this time, so you know, trying to fight more. You know, he was, you know, going for the knockout. You could see it, but it just, you know, it didn't happen. But it's okay. And what was the other question?
I said, is he chinny? And does one punch win a round?
Does one punch win one round? I guess if it's the only punch.
No. I'm talking about like, okay, like right there, like I've dominated this whole round. I won this whole round, but right there before the bell ends, you hit me. I wobble walking back to my corner.
Okay.
Like the
But
reaction.
see, I'm not a judge, so I can't really say.
But listen, you're a
I don't
fan,
really know how they judge. I would assume that if you're winning the majority of the round, that you would still get the round. But it depends on how judges are judging. Because I'm not exactly sure what they're looking for. You know, different ones judge different ways. You have some judges that like to judge more people. If you're coming forward, they're aggressive.
Right.
But they're going to judge you on that more. But a lot of people don't like back foot fighting.
Lisa, I'm cutting you off for a second. I don't mean to cut you off, but I got to cut you off because I want you to. I don't want to go into the hearts and minds of the judges. I'm asking you as a fan, when you watch a fight and you hear this guy got robbed, or hey, I thought he won the fight. But so I want to know what you think in that situation, my sister. Like when you see a fight that round, Devin Haney was clearly winning that round. But right there at the end, before the bell rung, he got hit and he wobbled walking back. Who won that round to you? Somebody, I can hear somebody phone.
I probably would have to go with Devin because he won the majority of the round. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. And while I got you here, what did you think of that interview that we did over there with Glen Johnson?
Oh, it was good. You guys asked really great questions, and you know, people in the comments asked great questions, and it was a good interview. You know, I enjoyed his you know, his laid back vibe, and I was just amazed that what really messed me up was how he had to drop his belt.
Right, that was crazy, right?
Yeah,
they must have paid him nice.
I don't know, you know.
I should have asked that.
I hope so. It's just that just sounds like, you know, just not fair, you know.
Right, the belt you got from beating Roy Jones, you didn't even get to defend it in your next fight. In order to fight Tarver for the next belt, you had to drop that belt. And he claimed the WBC. Let's pass it around though. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go. Let's pass it around though. Lisa, did anybody had a question for Lisa, or if not, we're gonna open the phone line back up. Or Lisa, you can beam in and join the panel if you want to, my sister. You already know it's love. Anybody had a question for Miss Lisa? All right. Well, Lisa, you got.
So you mean drop the link? You saying get on the link?
Yeah, the link is out there, but I'll refresh it and put it up there fresh. But the link is out there. You can join in that way.
Oh, okay.
Or you can call back in.
I just want to better pop up because I got some.
No, I can't hear as good on here. I hear better through the stream.
All right, well, pull up that way. It's all love.
All right, hon.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks for having me.
All the time. Yeah, man, I love having a phone line because some people don't like to beam in or they don't, but and they prefer to call in. But go ahead, guys. Y'all got the floor.
Oh, yo, just real quick, Mark. Another thing we were talking about is exactly that too. Like if you look at that's another thing that if there's one thing that I personally don't like in boxing is if you remember when Hooker was fighting Ortiz on the zone, the announcers were like, hey, we're in Texas, so you got to remember the Texas, the judges here, they like effective aggression, and so it's like, so now you're in that state where you know that these judges like effective aggression. But let's say you're a boxer, you're a stick and move person, and you know how some people say you're on your bicycle, but according to judges, that's, and according to a lot of fans, you know, that's ring general shit. So, but now, you know, to me, it's like sometimes it's not a, you shouldn't have to think. A boxer has enough to worry about in a fight, tend to think like, oh shit, now I'm in another state where they prefer me to be more aggressive. You know what I mean? This is what, you know, it is what it is. And then so I understand what you're saying and how it is. Like you see a person, he's winning the majority of a round, and how, you know, but then other people look at it like this too. There was like a good it was like I don't know what you call it, like an analogy or some shit. But let's say we walking by, right? We coming out the store and we see two dudes throwing hands in the street. They throwing hands in the street, right?
Mm.
And you know, one dude gets rocked, right? And let's say like a week later, we talking about the fight. What's gonna stick out to you? The dude that got rocked. Even though in that fight, like that in reality, the dude that didn't get rocked could have just been catching the other dude. But what sticks out to us is that we saw that dude get rocked.
I got you.
You know, that's just a point, but I understand.
Okay.
But you say I see both sides. Though.
Right. Let me take the call. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, man, it's Troy. It's something. I was having some issues with my connection, so
say it's good.
Yeah, so I called in.
Hey, look, it's cool. I love having the phone line just for that reason. Some people they can call in, but sometimes StreamYard don't work for them, so it's all love. Go ahead, Troy. What was you about to say?
Yeah, I just want to next week. Next week's show is gonna be bigger and better. We have we got a surprise for everybody next week, even you. So yeah.
I don't like surprises. I want to be prepared.
No, it's gonna
get with me offline. Get me
okay.
offline. Get with me offline, though. I'll get you offline.
You have my number, so just call me.
I will.
Huh?
I said I definitely
will.
Man. I definitely will. Thanks again, Troy. God bless you, my brother.
All right, man.
All right. Go ahead, Major Key. And then Asia Math and Lisa.
Would you want to talk about him and his phone line and shit?
No. Is Devin Haney chinny? and does one punch win a round?
No, I was saying that earlier. Like, I don't believe that one punch wins a round, but you can steal a round is the thing when it's a competitive round and one person might be winning, and then you get the most obvious blow of the round in the last few seconds. That's why they say don't let them steal the round. People tell you that all the time. Don't let them steal the round. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say that you know, I had it 8-4. I didn't have it like some people had it. Some people had 7-5. Some people had it 114, which, you know, like that's not exactly anywhere that I could understand how you had it. But some people had some swing rounds, you know, and they gave it to Linares. But I think it was a lot more distant than that. I think Haney did his thing at the beginning. I just think that he should have stepped out once he realized he couldn't knock him out, and he was looking good already. It's kind of like I put it like this: when Verdejo was fighting Nagatani, he dropped him twice. He should have just stayed back. Had only a few rounds left to go. He should have just stayed back and won the rounds. That's it, right? But instead, he wanted to look pretty and shit like that, and he fell in love with it. And even Bill Haney said that, and that's what I thought. I said that shit immediately before I even heard Bill Haney say that. I felt like he fell in love with it, with you know, what he was doing. He thought he could do more. You know, he seen the sweat flying off. He was feeling himself, and then until the sweat was flying off his face. You know, and that's one thing. Chinny, he didn't drop, so I don't know if he's chinny. But I could tell you that he just got rocked. And if he had somebody with a little more power, then he might have dropped. You know what I'm saying? Because he did. You know, kind of do like I've been listening to shit on the internet, and not to make fun of him because I like the kid, but he did kind of do a salsa walk back to the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I can tomar salsa, I can tomar salsa. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he was dancing that shit right back to the corner, you know? So with that being said, though, yeah, he just got to work on that. Like, don't fall in love. Like, if you could try to knock him out, because that's what a lot of people want to see, because that's what we expect to see out of most of the champions. You know what I'm saying? And but don't fall in love with it. If you can't do it, then fall back to your ways and say, okay, well, we'll leave that for another day. I got to work on some more things to make that happen. That's all it is.
All right, Rapstar just pulled up. Rapstar, I got Asia Math, Lisa Bells, and then you. Go ahead, King Asia Math. Is Devin Haney chinny? And does one punch win a round? Floor is yours.
Izzy Cheney. Well, I know he could do the stanky leg. But
Whoa, let me pull up my board because you and Major Key don't came in with the jokes, and I ain't got no sound effects for y'all. Let's get it. I'm ready now. I got my finger on the trigger. Let's go.
Right. But answering the question, I feel time would tell on that. I don't think I can make a fair assessment just based off of one fight. And time would tell if he's chinny or not. But I did predict that would happen. I don't mean to keep going by. I said, hey, you know, something gonna happen to him, and people gonna be saying, "What's wrong with Devin?" And I'm quite sure a million people were saying that same thing. Next question is, can one punch wins the round? Shit, one punch can win the fight. Look at Deontay Wilder. In this particular case with Devin Haney, I would say Linares did do enough with that combination to steal the round. So in that case, yes. And then got to reiterate, shit, one punch could win the fight. So yes, one punch can win the round.
All right, let me pass it to Lisa Bell. And Lisa, you can reiterate that. Of course, one punch can win a round, especially if it knocks you out. But I mean that more in a traditional sense, like, hey, I'm winning every minute of this round. I get hit, the bell rings. Even the reaction that you see is after the round. Do you win that round? And then Rap Star, please.
Well, like I said on the phone, I would assume that you would win a round, but now when Major Key was talking, I thought back to Sugar Ray Leonard. He was able to steal rounds at the end with them flurries, pop, 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 you know. So combos or whatever, the fast combos, like when he fought Hagler. So but I'm still gonna go with because you have to score a round minute by minute, you know. So that's just
You
how
had me at going with Major Key, and then you lost me after that.
Say that again.
I said you had me at I'm going with Major Key, but then you lost me after that. Mad respect to you,
No,
sis.
No, he just getting
I'm
his jokes
saying
off.
I was relating. I when you said that about the rounds at the end, I thought about Sugar Ray Leonard, and he was known for doing that. Like at the end of the round, you know, like he could just come back and pop, 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 and win rounds like that. So even though it's a different scenario, I'm just saying I thought about that and I didn't think about that when I was on the phone, but I'm still going with what my stance on the phone is that you score rounds, you know, minute by minute, and you know, so I think what you do overall should be better than, you know, the last second of the round or whatever. That's just my opinion.
Go ahead, Rap Star.
Yo, how you feeling there, Mark?
Man, we good, brother. Go ahead. Is Devin Haney
man.
chinny, and does one punch win a round?
Yeah, man. Before I cook, man, Lisa Bell's my sister out there. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm good. How you doing, Rapstar?
Yeah, Shadow Ghost, Major Key, Boxing, Asia Math. Yeah, man. Look,
Wild
man.
one, brethren. What I deal with.
What's going on, Rap Star?
Respect, bro. But look, man, I think I cooked it the next day, and I don't know if Glenn was on the channel or not. Oh, no, he didn't come that day. But yeah, we was talking about it, and this is a big growth for Devin Haney. To be in that kind of a fight, he needed controversy. He needed to see what it feels like when his knees are buckled and what it takes for him to dig deep. You know what I mean? I mean, people call Devin Haney chinny and huggy bear now, but the last time I checked, even Floyd Mayweather had to hug fucking Shane Mosley to survive through a certain round. So these are the kind of things that a fighter needs to grow. And I think the boxing fans of today, they don't appreciate a fighter to do so good at the first 4 or 5 rounds. Devin Haney had 2 jabs coming. You know what I mean? He was doing the double jab, the right hand, and you know he was winning consistently. But of course, when he was like there was times that Devin Haney thought that he could stop Linares. So of course, when Devin Haney put his foot down and he tried to do something that he not normally do and come forward and be aggressive, now he tried to knock Linares out. He tried. So the fans are not happy that he tried. So of course, at that time, he paid a price later. He took a shot, and it looked like, you know, he was having to survive. But it's the referee's job to tell Devin Haney to not be hugging as much as he had to hug in the 11th round. It's not his job. He's just got to do what he's got to do to survive. So I think this is the best thing for Devin Haney going forward, but it does ask some questions that he can't be in that position fighting these guys with Teofimo Lopez. He's got to keep that distance. He can't look, Mark. Devin Haney's got to forget the fans and stop trying to please the fans, because he's going to pay a price for that. That's what I saw. He's got to now learn and think that I can never fight like that with a Teo or Ryan Garcia even. Because coming forward, these guys hit harder. These guys are fresher. So Devin Haney might have learned from that and know now I'm going to focus on me and focus on my feet, focus on my distance. I'm not going to try and take it aggressive. I'm not going to come forward. And as far as having does one shot change a fight, like, let me ask you this.
No, does one shot win? No. Does one shot win the round? I won every second of the every minute of the round. You land a shot right there when the bell ending. I'm walking away. Did you win the round? Because I remember this happened with Maidana and Floyd. He caught Floyd at the end of the second fight.
Yeah, he did.
At the round, and Floyd leg stiffened up, but the bell was over. But go ahead.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, if Devin Haney, right, in this 8th round or 9th round is giving a couple of jabs, and after a few jabs, you know what I mean, is coming back with a couple more jabs, and Linares is landing a solid left hook. That one solid left hook to me is like 3 of Devin Haney's jabs. It depends on what you're looking at. If somebody's getting flush hit on a face and somebody's taking little jabs, I think it depends on how the the judge looks at it. And the most aggressive punch must be overtaking the jab. So, of course, if there's 3 or 4 or 3 left hooks and there's about 8 jabs, it depends on the referee, bro. I mean, the judge. And some judges look like for the punch, which is a more solid punch and more aggressive punch. So, yeah, one shot can change rounds sometimes, Mark.
For you, not the judges, because we never know what's going on with these judges. But I'm talking about you, how you would look at the fight the next Sunday and say, hey, man, this guy got robbed. This guy didn't get robbed. That's the question I was asking. But it's all good. Let me let Major Keys Shadow Ghost get back in. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I think Shadow Ghost was waiting longer because I respect this before.
Well, look, man, thanks for having me, guys. And Major Key, I'm gonna change my my times for the morning for a couple of people in England. So I'm gonna have to change my times for my show. But you guys keep cooking.
Yeah, man. You know I'm gonna go there and support you, brother. All day long.
Hey, Rap Star. Thanks again for pulling up. Hey, man, I was talking about you early in the playback. You can check the playback. I don't know if you caught it, but I was saying, hey, my only critique of you of that interview was it was a time where you had your mic unmuted too many times, and that little clackling sound that we hear now was picking up, and you had kind of cut Major Key off a couple times when he was trying to go. Then you kind of kept going, and you was like, hey, I just want to say this one thing before I leave, like and then you still stayed, so you did have a little more time. I'm just saying, that was
the reason why I did stay. There was a reason why I did stay, because at that time, Major Key was sorting out his StreamYard, and at that time he couldn't have more than 6 people. But then when he sorted that out, he messaged me. That's why I stayed.
Yeah, but I just felt like you kind of cut him off a little bit. But no disrespect, though. Thank you again for pulling up. You have a good one, man.
Yeah, man. I didn't mean to cut him off like that.
No, it's all good. Good night.
Hey, Rap Star, man. Hey, Rap Star, I'm gonna get up with you, bro. All right.
All right, bro. Shadow Ghost, man. I heard from you for a while, bro. You doing good?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get up with you, man. I'm gonna talk with you.
Catch up with you. All right, Mark. See you later.
All right, man. God bless. Thanks again, Rap Star. You did ask some good questions, though. You got great energy, man. Shout out to Rap Star, man. Definitely got good energy all the way from the UK. Definitely appreciate him taking his time out of his day. He could be doing anything else. He could just be on UK boxing channels. He's over here rocking with the US consistently. So I appreciate him. Go ahead, Shadow Ghost.
Yeah, look, it was just one thing that it was actually something that Rapstar has said. I think also that we see a lot of times, especially with now too, there's a fan base, regardless how we look at it. Boxing is a sport, even though it's a combat sport and it's different than any sport to me. It's still a sport, and so meaning that you're gonna have fans of whether it be athletes or teams or whatever it is. So when you hear that people say that a person is chinny or a person is, they start calling them Huggy Bear and stuff like that, and then you see the people are doing the same thing when it comes to TO, and then you got your, the people Crawford and Spence, and then Wilder and Fury. So it's to be almost expected, and but to you, I try to look at it like I look at it as these guys are putting their lives on their line every time they get in the ring, but it is what it is. We're dealing with people from all over the world and different types of ages and different mindsets. So, we're gonna hear that, and then introducing clout. So, so it is what it is.
Yeah, one thing I want to say, man, myself, again, apologies to anybody that was streaming in here, and apologies to anybody that was streaming over there. Kelly Pavlik did confirm last night, and you know what I mean. I'll send that screenshot to Mark if I have to, so he knows.
No. I already told him. I was like, hey, look, that was last minute, but Glen Johnson was playing for a minute. Like, look, and it ain't no disrespect to Kelly Pavlik. Anything can happen up, and we look forward to seeing him on the next one. I don't want to throw him under the bus. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to throw him. Yeah, no,
I ain't saying
I'm a big fan. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kelly, and it was last minute Memorial Day weekend, so we don't know if he got caught up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it is.
I hope he's okay,
man.
and I hope he's okay.
Yeah, that's another thing. Exactly. I hope he's okay as well.
So he'll stand up.
So we'll get him on a different time. I'm pretty sure. So but apologies to the fans though is what I'm trying to say is that anybody that had questions for him. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that they understand that, hey, this was kind of like a last minute thing with him. And because the original interview was set up with Glen Johnson to begin with anyway.
Look, I'm going to send you another thumbnail, Major Key. We just changed the thumbnail, and we'll get Kelly Pavlik on the next one, bro. It's all love.
Sound good, bro.
Hey, look, we got a couple more boxing fans came in. Is Devin Haney chinny? Does one punch change the round? Before I go to you guys, I'm going to play a clip from the interview I did with Jacob Stitch Duran, legendary cutman. If you Google best cutman in boxing, his picture comes up. I even asked him about that. He said he's a little embarrassed by it. But I say, hey, man, shit, you get paid the big bucks, man. So I'm going to play a small little clip of this interview, less than 30 seconds, and we'll come back to the new guys just pulled up on the panel and get their take on it. Okay, let me. Sorry about that. This ain't pulling up on the screen. Bear with me. Let me share the screen. I'm up here like a rookie right here. Click the wrong one. I got several tabs open. Here we go. Was Devin Haney hurt?
Back, it took him about 3 steps to get.
All right, so let me run it back. Jacob Stitch Duran, he was working the Devin Haney corner the night of the fight. And we just asked him straight up, was he hurt? This is his reply. Hey, let me ask you this straight up. You was there last night in the corner. Did you think Haney was hurt by the shot in the 10th round, at the end of the 10th round?
Yeah, well, I got ice on him, so, the legs will tell you a lot. And yeah, he got buckled, no doubt about it, and just walking back, it took him about 3 steps to get coordinated again. So yeah, he got that little buzz shot.
Got that little buzz shot. That's what he said. He got that little buzz shot. Let's open the floor up. Thank you guys for pulling up. Got Jashawn. Thanks for pulling up, Jashawn. And also the boxing section. My boy Kyle. What's up, guys? How y'all feel?
What's good?
Go ahead, Jashawn. I baited you to come on in. I saw you in the chat. Talk to him, man. Is Devin Haney chinny? And does one punch win the round, in your opinion?
Nah, he's not chinny. I feel like you got to stop overreacting when these young fighters that's unproven, that ain't really never been tested before, when they get hit, you start overreacting. And we just start saying, well, is he chinny? Is his power real? Just all these questions we come up with when a guy steps it up in competition. But as far as does one punch win a round? I mean, it depends if it's like, let's say the fight is not really a lot of activity going on in the round. It's not a lot of punches thrown. And let's say a guy lands a big shot. I think he can steal the round just based on the fact that he landed the biggest shot that round. And the round wasn't really a lot of activity going on. Or if a guy gets dropped, let's say a guy might be winning the round at first, and then the guy lands a big punch. He can steal that round just based off the fact that he dropped the guy. So I think he can steal a round with one punch based on those facts right there.
Yo, Mark, you there, man?
Yo,
Mark,
Well, look, yo, my mic was muted. I'm sorry. Yeah, basically, I was trying to read this question, but I guess it's been on the screen. I was saying, he said, and I was letting Kyle from the boxing session go next, and I had this question up. I was reading it out loud, but my mic was muted. But go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, man. I got a question for the panel, right? Is Andre Ward chinny?
Oh no, not in my opinion. I think he has a hell of a beard. Has he been dropped? Yup. Chinny? No. He's undefeated.
Is Mayweather chinny?
And face Kovalev when Kovalev was undefeated.
Is Mayweather chinny?
I don't think so at all. That's me though. But go ahead, man. You up here asking questions.
Nah. So is listen. That's my point. My point is he got caught with a shot. He did not fall. You know what I'm saying? He got hit with a shot he didn't see. Those are the shots that hurt you the most. And he can't be chinny if he didn't go down, if he didn't fall, if he didn't get knocked out. He was still fighting. So I don't understand why people could say he's chinny off of one punch. And that one punch in that round, that punch shouldn't have mattered because that whole round, Devin Haney was dominating him until it was simultaneous with the bell when he hit him. So all that extra shit, man, I don't want to hear that, man. And he slipped like 5-6 punches before that punch even landed. So they can miss me with that chinny bullshit. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think chinny even matters. I mean, you look at Felix Trinidad, he got dropped so many times in his fights and he got up and knocked the other dude out. So I don't see any chinny don't mean shit if you get up and win. So but that mean Tito went down so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And got up and knocked the other dude out. So
yeah, I don't see him as chinny, but what is considered chinny? Like I mean, you know, like you said about Tito, you know, I just, you know, you get hit with a shot, you know, it rocked him. It happens. It's boxing. I just think that everybody's with these fighters, I just notice everybody's too overly critical, but that's just my opinion. You know, like the fight happened, it's over with. We can analyze it or assess it and post fight, but I just, you know, I didn't see him. He got rocked, he got shook a little bit, but he was able to you know, not go down and you know, it took him a minute to get his, you know, faculties back, but you know, it happens. It's a fight. I don't, you know, that's the way I see it.
So what if that happened in his next 3 fights? Would that qualify him as being chinny?
Does he win?
He said, does he win, Asian man?
Shit, he might be asleep.
Well, if he go to sleep, that's a whole different question then.
Well, because because you posed a good question. Like, is Andre, or who was it? Or did my other man say it? Andre, he said Andre. Kyle. Okay, so Kyle said, is Andre, right? So that's like, yeah, because that made me think, so is Felix Trinidad chinny? Because he got up and knocked the dudes out. So that's what, so I think if you see, now look, let me ask you another question. Is Amir Khan chinny?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because he done slept. My man don't went to sleep. So I think it's like if you get up and you go through that adversity, you know. But I think, and I'm gonna say this, and I have to get out of here. But
I
look,
got a
man, I
question
appreciate.
for you though after you finish though. Before
Oh
you
yeah,
go,
yeah,
go ahead.
sure. Yeah, and I appreciate you having me on, man. I really think that it is a lot of people are overcritical of fighters, and I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, obviously emotion and because they like certain fighters and they don't. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying all channels. There was a lot of channels saying that Berlanga was, you know, or they knew he wasn't all that. You know, he won every round. To me, he knocked the guy down 4 times, and that's taking credit away from Nicholson, who's an Olympian, I believe. So, um, it, this is how it is, and you know, I think it's sometimes people, you know, it's like that old saying: if you say something good about the person that they like, they're saying facts. You know, the moment you criticize or say something about the person that you know that they like, that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know, you don't watch boxing. You know, so you say what they like, then it's facts.
Ghost, let me ask you this. Before
Yeah.
you go, you said Amir Khan is chinny because of what now? Let me hear. What was your answer again?
Well, because I think what this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking.
That wasn't my question though. But I just want you to clarify that before I ask my question.
Okay, well, I think the difference is you look at somebody who's been down a lot of times, right? And a person, because a person can get knocked down. Okay, you take a fighter. Let's say they both been knocked down 6 times. Okay, let's just take that. 6 fights, 6 knockdowns. 2 different fighters, 6 fights. It doesn't matter if they fought the same guy or not. But in those 6 fights, the one guy that got knocked down 6 times, he was knocked out. The other guy was knocked down, but got up and won those fights. So is the guy that got knocked down, they both went down 6 times, but one of them got up and won. Is he chinny, or is the guy that stayed down chinny?
Both.
Okay, so here's my question for you then. Is Mike Tyson chinny?
I ain't saying shit about Mike.
I'm just asking because he has 6 knockout. He has 6 losses, 5 by knockout. One of those is the disqualification. So he's been dropped. He's been knocked out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
and he got Buster Douglas beat prime Mike Tyson.
Yeah, this is the shit. But this is what I think everybody on the panel is saying. You're gonna get hit. This is boxing, bro. You're gonna get, and this is another thing. You ain't got to be a devastating puncher to knock somebody out. You could just catch their equilibrium, you know, or you know, the right time or whatever. So I don't know. I think it's a far fetched to start calling him chinny. I think the Huggy Bear's a joke. You know, I think it's just a joke. I think people were just like they're waiting to see T.O. do a little wobble legs too. Come on now, you already know if T.O. gets wobbled, this is going. Oh man, you already see the onslaught coming. So, you know, it is what it is. But
Tell
hey,
people
man, I
where they can
appreciate
follow you at.
Huh? Oh, Shadow Ghost 81, and I'll drop the link if that's okay. When I
Absolutely.
get off here, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Y'all got the floor.
Yeah, I think that's Jason. Is that Jason in the background?
Yeah. What's up, Jay?
You said I was in the background, Major?
No. I mean, like I've seen you like sitting back and you haven't asked a question.
Oh no, I
question.
went when I first hopped in.
Oh, okay, my bad. What's up, bro?
When I first hopped in, I answered that.
Hey, shout out to Mr. Terrence Bailey. He said, "Did Buster Douglas really be a prime Mike Tyson though?" There's questions in that though, Mark. When you watch movies about Mike Tyson, if you know people who are in the know, we didn't have social media back then. We can't go into the hearts and minds of what's going on with somebody behind the scenes, because every fighter has stuff going on behind the scenes before every fight, especially if you've been at that level long enough. That was Mike Tyson undefeated. That was Mike Tyson where it was, how much was it, like 1,000 to 1, something crazy for Buster Douglas. You know what I'm saying? So the Buster Douglas wasn't supposed to win that fight. I don't know. I'll ask the panel that. I'll ask you guys that in the chat. Was that still prime Mike Tyson? Because he was supposed to beat Buster Douglas. That wasn't no world beater at the time where we just saw something amazing. You know, it wasn't a 50-50 fight. It was in Japan for one. You know what I'm saying? So Shout out to you, Terrence Bailey. Hey, look, man, I know we brushed each other wrong brushed each other fellas the wrong way that one time on Kyle's show, but that was your birthday, man. You had fun, I had fun. You know, you can always come back home, my brother. It's all love. Go ahead. Y'all got the floor.
Well, as far as the Mike Tyson thing, I would feel he was in his prime, but I don't think that's the Mike Tyson that we knew at that time that showed up that night as well. And I really feel, regardless of what's in the record books, he won that fight. Because you go back and look at the count when he dropped Buster Douglas.
Hold on, D-Ray.
Shit, you could have tied both of your shoes, put on your coat and everything, and before the count was over. So it was a long count. And to me, Buster Douglas didn't get up in the regulation time that's usually allowed for a fighter to get up. He went way past. They gave him extra time. But that's me. So in that regard, Tyson won the fight. I still would say Tyson didn't start showing a suspect chin till he wasn't in his prime anymore. And I think that's a attributed to, you know, his age. He on the downside of his career. So prime Mike Tyson, no, he wasn't chinny. Becoming a gatekeeper in boxing, yeah, you know, that means it's time you know, fought longer than, you know, you should be fighting. But no, I don't think Tyson was chinny.
Hey, we got a caller in. Go ahead, D-Ray.
Salute to the Mr. Marq Nash. Great content, man. Wonderful show. I almost hated to interrupt calling in, man. Can you hear me good?
Yep, you're good. You got the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see y'all got a good conversation going about Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. And the young man, I'm assuming, was talking about Kevin Rooney with Mike Tyson. And for me, that was always the Mike Tyson that I know, you know. That guy, it seemed to me like he could, like when Mike Tyson would go to the corner, he would call out a combination. He'd be like 4, 5, 6. And it was a combination for Mike to throw that when the guy did whatever the coach seen as being the opening, so he could execute it and do damage. But the thing I want to say with Haney is Haney has a chin. I don't think anybody saying that man did not have a chin, they tripping. He didn't go down. You know, and I think that going down and then being able to try to get up is what proves if you have a chin or not. You know, when you go to get up, are you still wobbly? And sometimes you are, but can you have composure? And I think that, you know, that's probably, I would say, yet to be determined, but I think that he has a championship heart because he stood in there and fought that guy when, if he was listening to me, I would tell him just box that guy, right? You just be sweet pea. You hit, don't get hit, stand in the pocket and tee off, you know, don't try to go for the knockout. Mayweather at the end, he wasn't going for knockouts. He just wanted the W. And that's what I think Haney should do, is just go for the W. And now the last thing I'll try to talk about is the one punch. One punch can win a round. Sometimes a punch will win a fight. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely can do that. And it all depends on the judge, man, you know, and maybe the angles of where they see it and, you know, all that different stuff, man. But salute to the panel. Y'all cooking. I'm sorry for interrupting, man. Y'all get back to cooking. I got respect and love for all y'all. Chat fam, keep it rolling. Marq Nash, my man. Hey, everybody subscribe, like, and share on all platforms.
Absolutely.
Keep breaking the beats, bro. Peace.
Absolutely. Shout out to D-Ray calling in, man. My man D-Ray, caller of the night. He always get caller of the night. Because if I don't get no other calls, he gonna be the one to call in. He was like, keep the phone line. I was like, man, I'm gonna stop doing this phone line shit. He was like, man, keep the phone line. I need that. That's the only way I call in. So appreciate him. Go ahead, man. You guys got the floor. I forgot who was talking before we got the caller, but you guys have the floor. The question again for the chat. Shout out to my man Tank, the Sweet Signs Examiner. I was asking, is Devin Haney chinny? Does one punch win the round? I won every minute of the round right there before the bell rings or simultaneously with the bell. I get hit. I go back to Mayweather versus Maidana. I think it was round 4 or 5. He hit Floyd at the bell when Floyd was trying to do the pull counter. Maidana fainted. Floyd threw the pull counter, got caught, wobbled, but he was already in his corner. He just turned around and put his hands on the ropes. It was to the point Maidana even looked back a couple times like, I got him. Even when Shane hit Floyd, Floyd knee almost touched the ground. He got buckled so hard. And Shane was like, I got him. Nope. Not yet. Didn't get him. So I just want to know what you guys think in the chat and the panel audience. Does one punch win that round for that guy? Is he chinny? I brought up Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has 6 losses and 5 by knockout. 1 is the disqualification. So that's the 6th loss. But 5 of those he was stopped. Is he chinny? Because someone said, well, Miracon is chinny because he got 5 losses, 4 by knockout. Mike Tyson got that too, and more. Is he chinny? So let me ask you guys that. The floor is open.
You really can't say Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson has been hit with some big shit and didn't go down. And he's a heavyweight and he's been hit with some shit. I mean, some of the shit that he's been hit with, most people go to sleep. So I won't say he's chinny. When he gets fatigued, that's when he got most of the knock. Well, that's when he got knocked out most of the time is when he was fatigued. Nobody ever just ran up on Mike Tyson and knocked him the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, he was tired. But Amir Khan, I mean, he's missing sleepy time. You know, right after Danny Garcia got to him, it was a wrap.
Go ahead. Y'all got the floor. Lisa Bells, Asia Math. Jay, y'all got anything y'all want to add to what Kyle just said?
Yeah. Hey Kyle, how you doing?
What's up, Lisa?
Nothing. I'm hanging in there. I never saw Mike as chinny until maybe he started getting, like rock later on in his career. But as Kyle said, he did get hit with some heavy shots at times. But like in his day, he was a monster. And even after the Buster Douglas, he was still a dangerous man. So like I never really looked at him as chinny. But what I did remember about him was that he had asthma. So he was trying to take your head off as quick as possible. But so that could attribute to him kind of not having that stamina later on, if that's the word I want to say. Shortness of breath or whatever. Because I remember he had asthma, so he was trying to take your head off. But I never really looked at him as chinny per se. But maybe after several times of being knocked down or whatever, or knocked out, maybe that loosens your chin up or whatever. So you become more susceptible to knockouts. So, that's just my take on it.
What y'all think of this? I showed I can do it all. I can box, I can bang, I can take a shot and face adversity and still get the job done. Devin Haney. Y'all agree?
Well, I said that in my. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, in the pre-fight breakdown, that's what I said he would do, and he did it. So, yeah, I mean, actions speak louder than words. But we'll see in this next fight or his next 3-4 fights. See if he can hold true to that. But as you're only as good as your last performance. He prevailed. No, salute to him. Shout out to the Haneys. Good victory. He showed heart. He showed determination. He showed perseverance. He showed skills. But I think we also witnessed a chink in his armor. Can he patch that up? Only time will tell.
What I saw was this too. He kept holding. But prior to that, Linares was holding a lot. The ref, I don't know what was up with this ref. He was very early on. I seen guys all the time. Let me cut my camera on, where they're trying to get to the guy. The referee breaks and the referee pushing, and they almost like let me at him, right? This referee early on was like, "Stop! What are you doing?" Or some shit like that. He was like, "I said cut it out." I was like, "Bruh, it's too early for that shit, man. Like, what is up with you?" Guys do that for several reasons. One, I want to jump back on them. Two, I want the judges to see I'm in control. I'm stepping forward. You get what I'm saying? Trying to pressure the guy before they pressure them, make him back up. I thought the referee allowed a lot of holding on both sides. For those who said Haney was hugging too much, the referee couldn't start going too hard on because he would have looked too biased at that point, in my opinion. It was a lot of holding from Linares from those body shots Haney was delivering earlier on. I don't know if you guys was peeping that. And it was times where Linares in the clinch, he would hit Haney behind the back of the head. Haney would hit him back behind the head. He told them both to stop. Haney, you can hear Haney almost because I was actually listening to the broadcast. He said, "Hey, he's hitting me," basically. And he was like, "Yo, you got to let me handle that." You know what I'm saying? You don't retaliate. Is what he's telling them. But he constantly was hitting Haney behind the head. And there was times where you can see he had gave him the hard warning already. And I think I don't know if it was the 11th or the 12th round. He did it again. And he gave him a hard warning. And then he did it again. And the referee timed him out. And you could see Haney nod his head like finally. And the referee still didn't take a point. And I was like, maybe he's not taking a point because he's right there. He sees the guy is losing the fight and he don't want it to get too far ahead. Same reason why judges don't score around no less than 10-7, even if you get knocked down 3 times and there's no 10 knockdown rule. I mean 3 knockdown rule. They still don't do that because it puts the guys so far behind. So I think in that fight though, the ref at that point, man, you got it at some point. Rabbit punching is illegal for a reason. You can't allow the guy to keep getting that off after you give him the hard warning. And I just thought it was too much of that going on. Some people said the ref was favoring Haney more. I don't see that. But I wanted to ask you guys, what did you guys think about the officiating of this fight? And the lady, of course. I'm sorry. Actually, let's open with the ladies first if we can. Go ahead, Miss Lisa. What did you think of the officiating as the way I saw it and the way you saw it?
I just didn't like, I don't particularly care for rabbit punches, but a lot of fighters, do that that part, you can get a point taken, especially if it's excessive, because that's dangerous to rabbit points. But other than that, I didn't really see anything wrong with the officiating,
Kyle, boxing section. What did you think of the officiating for this fight?
Man, the officiating was absolute ass cheeks. But can I go back to that last point though? The last question you had.
You got the floor, sir.
I think these fans are fucking ungrateful.
I think your children are losing their mind over there.
Hey, come on, man! You already know what time it is. These damn kids, man. But I think these kids are ungrateful too. God damn it! They're like these boxing fans. Shit.
I didn't want to say it. I was about to say it, but I held on to that. Go ahead.
But dog, it's like this. It's like, bro, what do y'all want from this man? What do y'all want him to do, bro? Like, he took them chances for you bum ass, disrespectful fans, bro, that booed him. He could have beat that dude easy. I mean, he could have beat him so easy. And he went on the inside for y'all niggas, you ungrateful niggas. You know what I mean? And now he got chink in his armor because he did something that y'all wanted him to do. Do y'all know if he never even went over there to go on the inside and try to stay in a pocket with him, none of that would ever happen. If he fought him like he fought Gamboa, none of that would ever happen. But when he fought Gamboa, he's boring. All he's doing is jabbing. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all want from the man? What do y'all want from the guy? You know what I'm saying? What y'all wanted him to do is get knocked the fuck out. Y'all was like, oh, he holding too much. What the fuck you want him to do? Get knocked the fuck out in front of everybody and lose his belt? So y'all could talk bad about him either way it go? I mean, the shit is ridiculous. But that referee was straight ass cheeks. I mean, he was the absolute worst. In the words of the great philosopher Reggie Owens, he needs to be banned. Cause that's the second time I done seen him do some bullshit. The Mahoney fight, with that phantom headbutt, where they caught the fight off and shit, and Mahoney ended up losing the fight over the headbutt. Same shit, same exact shit. So, yeah, man. But fuck him and fuck you, ungrateful fans, man. I love y'all, but y'all niggas is ungrateful. Then a motherfucker.
Let's see. I never noticed the ref before. I didn't ref with the fight.
You breaking up,
Thanks
Mr.
for pointing that out. I said, thanks for pointing that out. I didn't realize that was that same referee.
Yeah, shout out to Reggie Owens. That's who told me who it was. And I had to go back and watch the fight again. I said, oh, that was that coward motherfucker.
So yeah, I ain't know that. I didn't recognize that now myself neither. See, because the mask, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you look for certain faces and names with certain fights, and you know the ref right off. I knew his face, I knew his name, but I don't remember him from that fight with that head. But Jay, Asian Mav, let me ask y'all this. Got another question up here for you guys. Is Devin Haney vulnerable, and can he beat T.O. Lopez? Let me fix that. I spelled his name wrong. But that's the question. Does he seem vulnerable to you guys now versus, you know, some of these other guys at 135?
Well, just sticking it on him. Yeah, he was vulnerable before the fight. And I think Kyle, the great Tank Sweet Science Examiner asked the question, what is the chink in his armor? And I feel Kyle eloquently answered that question. When you're in that ring, which I haven't fought professionally, but yet I have fought on the amateur level, you do it for yourself. So if you get in there trying to impress somebody else, that's a chink, that's a mental chink in your armor. Right there. And when your mentality goes, your spirit goes as well. But what do I know? So that's the chink in his armor. And it could be the female, as with Mike Tyson, Robin Givens, to me, was a chink in his armor. And who is Devin Haney dating right now?
I don't know her. What? I don't know her. What's her name?
I'll let you do your research. But anywho,
no. You brought it up. You tell me. You
I
just
have
brought it.
no idea. I
do
don't
that all
get
that.
into all of that.
Hold on.
Exactly. We ain't trying to go down a rabbit hole. Once you do your research, you be like, oh, I see what that man was saying. Then you can come back and give me my flowers. But now you made me miss my point. What? Ask your question again. You say, is he vulnerable? And then what?
Can he beat Lopez?
I think they could beat each other. So it depends on the night. Yeah, to answer the question, yes, he can beat him and he can lose to him. I feel right now it's more of a 60-40 Haney, because I think he's gonna go back and look at the tapes and realize he's probably listening to your show. You know, we done spoke before. I recognize that voice. Yeah, I better listen to that man. And he gonna patch up that chink in his arm and be like, yeah, I'm about to do this for me. I'm putting my life on the line. I'm doing this for, it's for my mind, heart, and soul. Not saying fuck the fans, but I mean, shit, we're not signing his checks. So he need to do that he need to block out all the distractions. Definitely for his next fight. His next fight should be bigger than this one. And just stay focused. I would think that to me is what would be his vulnerability right now is he got to get his mind right.
All right, let's go, Jay. Talk to me.
Yeah, I think he was undisciplined at times in the fight. I feel like Linares got
Speak
his
up a little
timing.
bit for me, Jay. I don't know if you're laying down or what. Your energy sound mad low and your volume a little low. Speak up for me just a
Can
little
you
bit.
hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like he was undisciplined in the fight, and at times, Linares, in the later half of the fight, he was able to get his timing down, and he was able to land that I forgot, was it a right hand? I believe so. But I think just more of him staying in the gym, going over film, just it can be cleaned up. But you know, every fighter is vulnerable. Ryan Garcia got his weaknesses. Tank got his weaknesses, and Teofimo Lopez got his weaknesses. But yeah, I feel like he can beat any of them guys. And like what's his name was saying, Asia Math, you know, them guys can beat him. So it's just all about him cleaning up the mistakes, getting back in the gym, and preparing better for this next fight.
Okay. I just want to say this. Lisa, did you get a chance to speak on this? Everybody got a chance to speak about that last question. 2 questions about his vulnerability and can he beat Lopez? Did you get your take on that?
So do I think he could beat Lopez? What was the 2 questions? I'm sorry.
How vulnerable is he right now to these other 135 pounders, and can he beat Lopez?
How vulnerable is he to the other 135 pounders? Well, when you show vulnerability, people tend to want to come at you more. But I think he wanted to have more of a crowd pleasing type of fight this last fight, so he stood in the pocket more. But I think if he just continues to box like he always box, you know, he can always get a win. But right now, if he fight Lopez, I may kind of edge it more to Lopez, only because Lopez has been in there with some harder competition. But Haney does have the ability to beat him, like outbox him. Now that I could see too, with his feet and his jab. If he just sticks with that jab and, you know, the footwork, the movement, he does have a good chance. But Lopez hits hard, so that's the thing.
Yeah, I think I don't think he will go in there with the same fight plan. This is just my take on it, y'all, and this is how I assess the fight the way I saw it. And I want y'all to tell me if y'all agree. When I watched the fight, I saw him walking away with pretty much those first 5 rounds. I might have gave Linares one of the first 5. It might have been round 3 or round 4. I can't remember, but I might have gave him one of those first 5. Round 6, it looked like Devin tried to step to him, close the distance, and he tried to step to him more than just using a power jab and landing a combo. I mean, landing a shot. He was like, you know, head to head, shoulder to shoulder, trying to, you know, walk him down. He was trying to walk the guy down. So I think he stayed on that too long. At some point, he should have went back to the power jab, moving. I'm gonna make you chase me and catch me tonight. Because at that point, he had won the fight. I think his dad, I kept hearing his dad in his corner saying, like, close the show or stuff like that. He was telling him close the show in around 11 and 12. And I'm like, damn, he just got wobbled. You know what I'm saying? His dad telling him to close the show. And I remember times, I can't remember if it was Oscar. It's one of those, y'all know the era I'm talking about. It was either Oscar versus Tito. What was the fight Oscar lost? It was one of those fights where they told him, hey, you're winning the fight, you can take this off. And it was but in reverse, Mickey Bay lost the fight right there at the end, where he was winning the whole fight and tried to go out there and close it, and he got stopped right there at the end. So you've seen these stories too often where guys go out there, they're winning the fight, and they just want to close out and make a statement, and then they lose the whole thing. They throw it all away. So I just think it says a lot about him that he was able to do that. I don't think he will fight Tio Lopez with the same fight plan. I think he will be on his jab. He'll hold more, fight on the inside, get back on his bike. You know what I'm saying? And use his reach more. What I noticed, and this will be the last thing I say, and I'll let y'all go. Get what y'all want to say. prior to the Gamboa fight, he was doing a lot of talking, saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna drop him more than Bud did. It's gonna be a worse knockout than Tank Davis." There's nothing wrong with believing yourself, but also and putting that out there, doing great interviews. But also, Gamboa went into the mind state, in my opinion, to just survive. If I just survive this fight, it's gonna be a victory for me, and I'll still be able to book another big fight. And I think he was successful because he went in there. You know, look, it's hard to knock a guy out like Gamboa, gold medalist. Like, he knows how to not get knocked out. You get what I'm saying? Versus Linares, who came in there like, hey, I'm trying to win. You're going to have to take me out of here. I don't believe you. You need more people. Type mindset, mindset, whatever. So I think that's the difference. But also, Devin was more quiet. I think he said, hey, I'm going to try to do this, but I'm not going to talk about it up and leading up to the fight. So if it doesn't happen, I don't look that bad. So, but in the process, trying to fight that fan favorite style fight, like Kyle said, he almost threw it all away. So I think you got to fight your fight. If it's not working, go back to just using that power jab, because Linares had to give him his credit for that power jab. And he said, yo, but you could have doubled and tripled it, then landed it. He said, and he was like, yo, I was trying to pressure you before you pressured me, you know, and you had got my timing, so I didn't want to, you know, try that, because he was countering Devin early with that check left hook. But I'm rambling. Got too many of y'all up here for me to talk this long. Y'all got the floor. I'm sorry.
I think he got the best jab of the 135. The top guys up there, from what I saw, it's a nice jab too. It's nice and long and stiff.
We got to do a pause on that too, Lisa. You can't be up here talking about something nice, long, and stiff. You know what I'm saying? But it's a joke.
Hey, she a woman, so she can say some shit like that.
Right, you know what? Good point. She
Now,
can say
that's what I was mad. I was not mad, but I was like, kind of like, stick with the jab, Devin. Stick with the stick with the jab. Don't get away from the jab, you know, because that was what was he was so successful with it in the beginning. It was a left jab, right? Correct.
right.
The left jab is
Power
nice.
jab.
Yeah,
Power jab too.
yeah, I like that jab. Yeah.
Did you think he so you thought he went away from the jab and too much? He should have stayed on the jab instead of trying to get head
because
to
later
head.
on he was hooking more, and I just you know, I thought stick with the jab, you know, don't make it hard. He could have mixed it up, but I mean, you know, who am I to say? I'm not a fighter. I'm not in the ring in that moment, so you know, you're trying to appease the fans, and sometimes you just can't listen to everything. You just got to go out there and be who you are. It doesn't matter what you do, people are going to complain anyway. I hate to say it. They complain.
I like that.
Huh?
Go ahead, Kyle.
I like that post he made. Today. So now that he knows that these fans don't give a shit whether he wins or loses, they really just want him to lose. Now he's gonna get back to boxing. So now he's gonna get to outboxing these folks again. You know what I mean? Because he was whooping Linares' ass the whole fucking fight until he started trying to. And Mark, he made a great fucking point. He stayed in the pocket way too long. He stayed in there more than he had to. He showed us, like what I want to say, the 7th to 8th round. He showed us he could do. He could bang. Then he should have just went back to just jabbing his fucking face off. You know what I mean? So
right. Imagine if Floyd fought Canelo that way. You get what I'm saying? It's times where he jabbed Canelo. He went inside. He just stepped to Canelo. Boom, bam, bam, right to the body, left to the body, then left hook to the head, and got the hell up out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's times where you got to know when to turn it off, turn it on.
That comes with growth. But I really love what Dev is doing, man. I think he gets over criticized for no reason. And you know what's funny? People forgot about how bad Nakatani, the time that he was giving Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? He gave him a hard fucking time.
Speak on that.
Dude, that fight was hard for Teofimo Lopez, man. Most people thought he lost. And That's the first person he didn't get the knockout real easy. So for people to say, and he got rocked a few times in that fight while he talking that shit. You know what I mean? He got hit a few good times. And I think if Richard Coleman would have caught him with that shot that he caught Richard Coleman with, he probably would have wobbled too.
Yeah, but look at how long Nakatani was in the hospital for a long time. They said after that fight, that's crazy, man. They said he had like a brain bleed or something. That's crazy. And then he came back into that war with Verdeo. I didn't even think that he would come back to boxing after that. That's crazy.
Right, and still capture some big victories. Captured a big victory after that.
And then get his eye socket broken, and then he coming back and fighting Loma.
Yeah, man. What can I say, man? This has been a hell of a weekend with boxing. It's been a hell of a weekend. Kyle did some dope interviews. I did some. Major Key did one today. Man, look, man, we coming, man. We just got to stay persistent. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man, and rocking with your boy Marq Nash. What can I say? Edith is on the way, June the 11th. It'll be in a phone near you. Make sure y'all check that out. Y'all want to go around, give me your final remarks on everything, because I'm gonna go and end this one because I got a lot of footage I need to chop up and start dropping some of this content to the subscribers. So I give y'all the floor, and we can go and close this one out. We almost at 3 hours. So go ahead, Jay. You got any final thoughts of the fights this weekend? What did you like? What are you expecting from Lord Devin Haney going forward? Should T.O. be his next fight? Should he stay away from Lopez? Do you think him looking vulnerable in this fight makes that fight bigger and make these guys want to fight him more? Because from what we were saying, Garcia, Tank, Lopez, they all could have fought him.
I would say bring them all on. He won it. He been calling for it. Bring them all on. And I want to say shout out to my guy, the boxing section, Kyle, my guy. I ride with him all the way. Lisa, King Asian Math, and salute to the panel. That's all I really got to say though.
Yeah, salute, Jason. Yeah. I enjoyed the fight with Devin this weekend. I give him a lot of credit, and I give him his props. You know, he got in there with a vet, and and he passed the test. He's a work in progress. All of these fighters are still a work in progress. They're not retired, you know what I'm saying, or close to retirement. So they're not there yet as far as maxed out as far as like the finished article yet. So I'm really looking forward to who he's gonna fight next. And there's no training wheels with these guys no more. We want to see the best fight the best, and let's get it on. And thanks for having me, Mark. And salute to all the panel members.
Absolutely. Thanks for pulling up. Kyle, the boxing section, talk to us, man. Tell us what you got going on. Talk to us about that interview you had, because you did a dope interview. And talk to us what you got going on your channel, when you go live, and how can they follow you and reach you?
So I go live every night after barbershop conversations. My boy Fred, shout out to Big Fred. I try to do interviews on Sundays, a rest day for fighters. I just had a Christian Kiki on there. Y'all gotta go watch that interview, man. It's a 2-part interview because my job had an emergency and I had to go leave and shit. But a good interview, man. Great energy. Man, Mark, I'm just ready for you to drop that interview, man, with Stitch Duran, man. Salute to Lise. Salute to my boy JB, of course, man. King Asian Math, man. Marq Nash, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep your foot on these niggas' necks. And hurry up and drop them goddamn videos, man. I've been waiting on another video, man, all damn day.
I got you, man. Like I said, that interview with Glen Johnson came up last minute, and I had to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah, man, we about to watch what I do right now within the next 24 or 48 hours. You guys are going to be getting a lot of good footage from that. I interviewed a Grammy-nominated producer as well. I don't know if y'all ever heard this meme or this slogan like, won't he do it? Just talking about God. And but my man, he produced that. He also did that Young Dro TikTok record. He had some hot takes. We was talking about cancel culture with R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, and Kanye West. And so he had a couple of good hot takes, even about Kurt Franklin. So we talked a lot about a lot of things. So I'm gonna put out those clips, and he's trying to do the live. He said, "Yo, I'm cool with he ain't scared to go through the gauntlet." So he was like, "Yeah, I'll do the live with y'all." So I think he's gonna pull up on the Wednesday night episode. So we're gonna have a Grammy-nominated producer here, just talking to us about the music business, and he's gonna be on the panel. I'm gonna open the panel up, and you guys can ask him whatever you want. And he said he ain't running from it. He said, "Let's get it." So, and also Stitch is gonna come back. He said the same thing. He's like, "Hey man, this went pretty cool. I'm willing to come back and do the live." He said, and Stitch actually said, let's strike while the iron is hot. So he wants to come back soon too. So I told him I'd hit him up in about a week or two. And he was like, "Man, we can do it sooner than that." I was like, okay. So yeah, man, this has been a great last couple weeks for your boy. Like I said, man, David Benavidez Jr. interview. If y'all haven't seen that one, check that out. And from there, man, things are just going great. Damn, I was trying to pass the mic to Asian Math, let him close out, but we'll catch him on the next one. With that said, man, yeah, I don't know what's going on with my camera right here. My mic. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the the comment section. Shout out to you, especially Marq Nash and Major Key and everybody on the other channel. It was a great interview. We just gotta uplift these fighters as far as, you know what I'm saying, like, just be more positive. But I know it's boxing, you know what I mean? But like, just be more uplifting, you know what I mean? Like it's negative a lot of times when you come on here. Sheesh.
Right. I try to look at my show as a safe space, man. This home base. Like, look, or like the water hole or something, I have guys here from the LDBC, MXBC, guys who just love boxing, people who have channels, people who don't have channels. We're just trying to just elevate the content, keep trying to give you guys good content, but more importantly, have a safe space where you can get your bars off without a lot of negativity, because I ain't got time for it. I ain't trying to
Right.
look, some people want to be Jerry Springer of the shit and Maury Povich. Cool with you, my
Yeah.
brother. Salute to you. Do your thing. Those are very successful shows, and they are very long-running shows. But some people want to be 60 Minutes, Larry King. You know what I'm saying? They want to do different things, a Jay Leno type thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but that's what we're doing over here on Breaking Beats. It's your boy Marq Nash. Remember, dreams require sleep, goals require effort. You can't get that hoodie at marknash.com. And remember, this is Breaking Beats, where we break down the business, entertainment, art, technology, sports, anything else I feel like squeezing into those letters. It's a hip-hop, political, sports show with a comedy twist. So I see y'all on Wednesday, 10 o'clock p.m. Thank you again for your time. It's your boy Marq Nash. Let's run that outro, baby.
This that squad sound.